What it do, y'all? What it do? I'm sorry I was a little late. Whew. But I rode my bike today. I tried to time it out right, so I would be back in time, but I actually went a little bit too far. But anyway, we back in the building. I'm gonna put up the Zoom link, but while I'm putting up the Zoom link, and everybody come in here, wipe y'all feet off, hit that like button. You know what I mean? Tell a friend to tell a friend. Pseudo Killers is back in the building. We live and we about to get it popping. So I'm gonna get this Zoom link up. Y'all keep chatting, and we about to go in. 3 minutes.
Normally I don't, like to talk on the track, but I was just thinking the other day, I'm like, damn, niggas be hating on a nigga, man. And trying to figure out like why they be hating on low. But then I learned, in order to understand the motherfucker, you gotta look at things from their perspective, put yourself in their shoes. That's how I came. They say Soul J from the hood. He ain't had the news on the stove, he looking too good. Living in the house, fireplace, he burning the wood. Riding in that mirror every day, yeah, just like he should. Bitch, I would if I could, but I hate that nigga. Ain't that nigga, make it look easy, look how break that nigga. Quarterback like Breeze, but he ain't no fucking saint, nigga. I can do it too, but I'm mad cause I can't, nigga. Look at him, look how he never slipping. We should've killed him long ago, now look how he living. It's steady winning, yeah, I'm losing, but I chose struggle. Skinning and grinning, he a real nigga, man, but fuck low, taking Henny, he got a bad habit. A queen stay on his arm, with his granddaddy name was Peter Rabbit, fuck him. Nigga don't trust him, yeah, he solid as steel, but that money gon' rust him, and too many people love him. I can understand, goddamn, when a nigga winning, and you losing, you kind of be feeling some type of way and shit, but I'm like, let's all get this money, you know what I'm saying? But they continue to goddamn, but that ain't none of my business. But this is just me, it's dedicated to them hater nation, man, you know what I'm saying? He a dirty nigga. Bitch and give him back like he ain't heard of niggas, ain't scared of niggas, he was raised by the young and fearless. When's the last time you seen this nigga? Yeah, he think he clean. Pull up on the scene with his feelings missing. Sociopathic, but I wouldn't want my car next to his in traffic. And at me he's laughing, it's like he's the price and I'm the passion. It's like he's packing and I'm the one that's lacking. Fatal attraction, affirmative action. Hey, hell nah, nigga can't be. He just made another chess move I can't see. He probably feel like this Nintendo, he the game genie. On FB, he always talking shit, I'm about to delete. You see me, never see eye to eye. His circle small, but he always providing the pie. Fuck him, nigga don't trust him. Yeah, he solid as steel, but them haters gon' rust him. Man, too many people love him. Yeah, man, damn, that's how y'all feel. Shit, what can I do? Hey, I want us all to eat, you feel me? But everybody can't win, it gotta be a loser. So, shit, fuck it. Shit was jamming. I like, classic shit. Goddamn, about to pull up. Do say in the cup. Cause I don't give a fuck. It's all love though. Yeah. Yeah. Knuckle. Yeah. Okay. Oh, still going. Shit. That's what I'm talking about. Let's get it.
Yeah, y'all. Pseudo Killer stand by. Here go the link. But anyway, how everybody doing? Boom, copy that. How's everybody doing? I think we're going to have an excellent show tonight. Excellent show. Peace. Boom. I still got some running around to do. Peace to everybody in the chat. Let's see who we got in here. Boom. Let's go back up to the top. Flavor, what it do? Abjuware Unk is in the building. I just sent out the link. I'm about to send it to the Facebook chat. Moses Jefferson, what's up, Moses? Thirsty, Uno, what it do? Mongo, what up, what up? PK is in the building. Miss Tiffany, fire, as always. Damar Milton, what it do? Jody Breeze, Vyasa, Static, Daquan in the building. Yeah, I mean, hey y'all, that music was from my man Kent, Pseudo Killer Official. Yeah, he got that fire too. You dig what I'm saying? Venice, Fire Lightning Tiss, what it do? Dash Herb. Brother Reggie is in the building. Reggie, I got your back. You feel me? I'm riding with you, Reg. What else we got in there? Brother Reggie said, Brother Reggie has the only article from this community in a respected black journal, and those who have never and can't get an accepted article is attacking me. Education and Learning said, history on South Africa, please. Are African Americans from South Africa or West Africa? We from West and Central Africa. Education and Learning, we definitely from West and Central Africa. But it was some East African trade after the British had blockaded a lot of West Africa. So it was an East African trade still going on, and I think a lot of us, a small percentage of us, got smuggled through the East African trade before that got fully snuffed out. So yeah, for the most part, West Africa, West and Central Africa. I can agree with that. Who else we got in the building? We got our OG Fisherman. OG Fish Firm. Bonton, what it do? Stu Pease is in the building. Mike Walker. Who else? Boom, boom, boom. Everybody. I ain't miss nobody. Centavo, what it do, Centavo? Ramon, what up? Payne. Outside the Cube is in the building. What it do, Cube? Harold Richardson, what up, Harold Richardson? Sadiq. Raphael Sadiq is in the building. My name is Tika. Tika, haven't seen you in a while, sister. How you been? Who's that cat? DC? Oh man. Yeah, and that's pretty much. And Mark White TV is in the building. So yeah, y'all, we about to get into this show. Miss Lamb, how you doing? Good evening, sister. Sid Brown, what up? All right, y'all know what it is. Respect every one of y'all, and y'all all pseudo killers. So, Brendan, what's up, Brendan?
Hey, what's up, bro? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, peace. It looked like you got you some exercise today, man.
You
say you was on the other side of town on your bike?
Yeah, bruh. I rode all the way, probably, I need to start putting my my miles on so I can see, but I definitely rode probably about 25 miles.
Oh man, that's a good thing, man.
Yeah.
Just keep that health right. It's getting, it's warming up for the summer, man. So, getting right. That's good.
Yeah, definitely. And it'd be so nice in the city. You know what I mean? When everybody, when it get nice out, everybody come out. So You know,
Okay.
the downtown and the inner harbor area be lit. You know what I mean? So
Right.
yeah, it's definitely But yeah, what's going on though, Brendan?
Not much, man. I see you got the appeal to authority, you know, on the banner there. You gonna touch on that tonight a bit?
Yeah. We're gonna touch on. I'm trying to wait for Corey and Kent and Unc to slide up in here. And where's Cedric at? Cedric, where is you at, Cedric? We definitely need you tonight. Let me we got so many different chats. And I be forgetting that they not on the iPhone chat because they don't have an iPhone. So they be getting mad when I don't send it to the other chat. All right, let me see. But yeah, come on, man. What's the hold up, bruh? Me and Brendan ready to get into it. All right, dang. Holding us up. Unc be doing a lot though. He got his
Unc's got a full house, right?
Yeah.
He got a full house over there.
He got a full house and he got the kids. He take them to practice and he work his son out, you know what I mean, by himself. Then he take son his practice, his games. So he got a lot going on. You know what I mean? Got a lot going on. You know what I mean? And he still come in here and give y'all 3 hours of fire, at least. You know what I mean? Straight edutainment. What we got over here is more like edutainment. It's education and entertainment combined. You feel me?
Yeah, for sure. You gotta keep it fun and lighthearted, man. We can't be so serious all the time and at each other's necks all of this information, man.
Mm-hmm. That's a fact.
Right. I think that's what actually makes this show attractive. No one's overly serious about this stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
Or at least we don't take ourselves too serious.
We don't take ourselves too serious.
The information itself, right? Exactly, right.
Mm-hmm.
Unc is a big proponent of scientific literacy. He takes that dead serious, right? But we can't take ourselves too seriously. So
that's a fact.
Sure.
That is a fact. All right, hold on. Oh, I know how to do it. I was trying to figure out how to send it to CK and them. Okay, hey Unc, send them the link then. Oh, we got some special guests tonight. We got I think we gonna have Dr. Ma'at. You know what I mean? It's Dr. Ma'at, Pseudo Killer official. Dr. Ma'at, she don't say too much and she don't come on the channel too much, but she's definitely a pseudo killer. She's in our chat. You know what I mean? She participates. She give us constructive criticism and everything. So, can't wait to hear Dr. Mayat, what she got to say about the appealing to authority. Okay, Unc is coming in the building.
Should be a good conversation.
Definitely.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Definitely. All right, let me switch over to the Zoom. Boom, boom, boom.
I tell you what, Dr. Ma'at, she's an excellent interviewer. Her and Assad does some really good interviews as well. So I enjoy both of those guys' interviews.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Yeah.
That's a fact. Publish. All right. Audio still connected. He looked like he in the store or something. All right, yeah. So yeah, yo, we in here. Oh damn, yo, we got 68 in the building already. Keep on coming in here. Fill us up, man. Fill us up. We want to get to at least 110, and then we gonna get the popping. You know what I mean? We gonna get the poppings. The link. Cause when all y'all get in here, I'm gonna have to run to the store. So, cause my legs is burning. All right, here we go. I don't know what's taking his audio so long to connect. Bang, that's right. Hit that like button, y'all. All right. So, copy. CK. This get this up to CK. Boom. All right, I did my job. I sent everybody the link. I started the show. That's the best I can do. Now it's up to the pseudo killers to bring the show home. Hey, Unc, you sent him that link?
Yeah,
What's going on?
I sent Dot coming on. I sent her the link. Yep. What you talking about, Q? I mean, man, Chef, no you.
Oh no, I was just Brendan was just chopping it up, talking about how the nature of the show and how we have what you call edutainment. It's education and entertainment combined.
Yeah, of course, yo.
Yeah. So
yeah, of course. If we do it right, we get some experts to stop by. We got an expert stopping by tonight. See? Yeah, she understands the total process of being that. All right, in her said field. And she's published. None other than Dr. Oyamayat.
Yeah, that's gonna be.
I don't know if she's published because I've seen it.
Right.
Yeah.
And to become a doctor, she had to write a dissertation also.
Absolutely, right? Absolutely. Yeah, of course.
For her doctorate. Yeah. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, ain't no other way around that.
Yeah, she had to go through them processes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. That's real, man. All day, every day, and ain't no shortcuts to it, man. So, I mean, yeah, we absolutely need that, man. So yeah. Show title there, Chef, for now. Experts. Why we need them, huh?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I thought Brendan was going to jump in real quick with something. What happened?
No, we was waiting for everybody to come in here so he don't get cut off.
Okay.
When everybody get in here, then we can start going through the our program for the night. You know what I mean? But
you play that heat.
Yeah. I played Kent's song.
Low.
Yeah.
Them haters, yo. We a lot of hate. Yes, a lot of hate, yo, streaming around the pseudo killers. I don't know why. A lot of hate.
Cedric, what's going on, Cedric?
Peace, everybody. What's good? Unc, you know why all the hate. A piece to the chat. How everybody doing?
What's up, man?
Running scared. Pseudo's running scared. Applying all the logical fallacies in the book. Man, it's getting ridiculous at this point. But you know why? We are making a sharp break between the space age Africans and the Africans who feel that we should be stuck in time 300 years ago doing the Dogon dance and the hubba.
That's a fact, and that's not even a shot, though. That's a reality. No matter what, yo, this one of them leave get out the way situations.
And now that the pressure's on, we are seeing the flaws in the ability to reason.
Yeah,
so now we're going to poison the well, try and discredit the experts. In an attempt to validate our hypothesis. Mind you, these guys don't have a data. They have not produced any new information, which is the level of PhD. They haven't contributed to the body of knowledge. I don't consider myself a scholar, because to consider yourself a scholar, you have to make a valid contribution to the body of existing information, of knowledge. How do you do that? You go through the peer review process. That's why guys like me don't get so easy to use concepts like I'm writing a book, because I know what it requires. This is not something you just up and do. It takes years of research first to acquire the information that is out there. You need to have all of that under your belt. Then, based on the information that you read and you accumulate, you now start to form a hypothesis. You say, wait a minute, based on this, this, and this, and this, and this, and now you apply the necessary. And in your hypothesis, you need to have a prediction. And once that prediction is validated, then and only then you have contributed to the body of knowledge, of scientific knowledge. So when we see people in these YouTube streets trying to discredit experts, let's take a Dr. Mayat, for example. Her PhD means she contributed to the body of knowledge. There is a piece of new information that we can directly point to Dr. Mayat having been the originator thereof in her specific field. That's why she is an expert. That means she took the time to accumulate all the information that already existed and produce new information. In these streets, I keep saying there are levels to these discussions. And I'm keep noticing that there is a deficiency in comprehension, which denotes people having not sat in those seats, having not been through the vigor. I'm reading Dr. Mayat's comments right there. So you see, I'm right. And this is off the dome. So not what we're seeing now is red herrings and poisoning the well, trying to discredit what being an expert means. We're trying, this is reasoning's problems. We're no longer in the area of the information and what is in the books. We're now in the area of the ability to reason coherently by applying the steps within the logical process. So you cannot win an argument by trying to discredit the experts. It still doesn't validate anything that you claiming, because you still have to put that work that you are claiming, hypothesis, through the process, through the rigor. And there is only that institution called scholarship, by which means that can be validated. That's why we can go to any university and pull up Reggie's article. And with that, I yield the floor.
Yes, Cedric, I wanted to kind of come behind you a bit.
Let me ask, before you come behind, let me ask this question. So, Cedric, what field are you an expert in?
I'm trained in biochemistry. I am a biochemical technologist, which means I have sufficient grounding to understand the information, look at the nuances, and even question some of what is put there. However, I cannot validate or make any concrete statements because at this point, I am not in a research laboratory setting. So what I would do is still rely on the experts, the new information, how I was able to quantify that the mRNA technology was sound based on me being a biochemist. So I was able to go, God damn it, they're right. Wow. And I knew from that moment, it's a paradigm shift. We're never going back to doing the medicine the way, diagnostics or treatments the way we did it before. It's a paradigm shift, and I have enough expertise to, when I saw the information, understood what it meant automatically.
The reason I ask you, because I always hear you say, well, I'm not even qualified to really speak on that. I'm not going to try to do it. And the problem with this community is people seem to be knowing everything. Jack of all damn trades, masters of none. But go ahead, Brendan.
Yeah.
I just wanted to bring that point out. Interesting.
Yeah, so yeah, I just wanted to kind of frame the conversation we're going to have tonight, and I'm glad Dr. Ma'at was able to actually jump on the panel, because I wanted to start out talking about, the concept of academic integrity, right? And specifically, academic integrity around plagiarism, right? There was a lot of conversations about plagiarism sort of floating around the community, maybe over the last week or so. So we wanted to kind of have a conversation there and maybe talk about some of the technologies that, that we're all using inside the community. We're talking about these plagiarism checkers, right? So we wanted to give maybe some insight into some of the user interfaces, the technology behind some of how these technologies actually work. We're going to talk about a little bit about the academic integrity process and maybe give some live examples of some reports and how to do analysis for plagiarism that could kind of help, clear some of the air inside of the community. Right. So
Great point, Brendan.
Yeah.
Great point, Brendan. For example, if I write a report and I put the periodic table in there and you run it through a plagiarism machine the wrong way,
right, exactly.
then you're going to get that I plagiarized the periodic system.
Right.
Periodic table.
And again, we'll talk about that, right? And again, we want to frame the conversation around plagiarism inside of an academic setting, right? And aligns in terms of code of conduct, right? All universities have what we call these academic codes of conduct, or they have the rules around academic integrity, right? And based on your field of study, Dr. Ma, I can probably attest to this. Cedric, you can attest to this, right? That code of academic integrity will be different. Like, for instance, like people that work inside of a research laboratory, they may have codes of academic conduct surrounding things like chain of custody for research data, right? Data ownership, data retention. Yeah, exactly. People, like, for instance, you're in the medical field, you do things like that. There may be restrictions if you're using live animals. So of course, there's ethics around that. Right. And some of the commonalities, no matter what type of field of study you're going to be in, right, you're going to see things like respect for others, right? You have to engage respectfully with your other, students and with your professors as well. Right. And universal, you're going to have strict rules against plagiarism. Right. So inside of any institution, you're going to be required to sign an agreement to say that, hey, I will abide by these rules, right? And one of them is if you're brought up on, plagiarism and it's been proven, right, you're going to be subject to academic expulsion, right? So as a requirement for that, right, the university or the institution, they're going to give you some training, a bit of training around how to use these plagiarism tools, right? So that they're going to give you the equipment or give you the capability to make sure that they're going to set you up for success there. Right. So in terms of how some of these anti-plagiarism tools actually work, so essentially it's just database software, right? Very sophisticated database software, right? It uses queries and software algorithms. So it goes out and it scans for matches between existing text. We're talking about existing text. Things are out there that's publicly accessible via the internet, things inside of academic journals, publications. Right. So it's going to scan that publicly available information against the existing text under question. Right. So it's going to do that in a couple ways. We've got what we call an exact keyword match. Right. Essentially, it's just what it sounds like. Right. It's a 1-for-1 copy and paste. Someone has lifted some text from somewhere. Right. Placed it inside of their work. Right. And that's a 1-for-1 match. Right. So plagiarism tools are, they're designed to catch that. Now, more sophisticated tools as well, right? They do what we call, or they support what we call a non-exact match, right? So that's going to prevent things, what we call plagiarism through paraphrasing, right? So this is when students try to get slick, you know what I mean, Corey? Cedric, they lift a piece of text, put it inside their own and make minor changes to that, right? So the software these days is sophisticated enough to actually flag that because it's a non-exact match. Right. So in terms of like the tool that I have the most experience with, and one that was highly recommended inside of our institution, is Grammarly. Right. Grammarly in and of itself is not strictly a plagiarism checker. Right. It's a grammar tool, as its name suggests. Right. So that means it's going to check for things like spelling, Punctuation is going to make sure that you're speaking in active voice. Of course, that's important today, right? In academia, like when you're speaking and when you're writing in active voice, it makes your work sound more authoritative, right? And it also, things like Grammarly, they'll check for things like tone and formality as well, right? So with the subscription, the paid subscription version, you're going to get what we call an integrated plagiarism checker, right? So even though, right, I would say all of this, we talked about these plagiarism tools, at the end of the day, it's still the responsibility of the author or the student to do their due diligence to make sure that your work is original and free from plagiarism, right? If you get brought up on charges for it, right, you're standing in front of your institution, you can't point at a plagiarism, a piece of software, and say, hey, this software didn't do what it's supposed to do or anything like that, right? You have to do your due diligence and use some skill in terms of using those particular tools, right? So I want to go ahead and share my screen a bit here. I'm going to pull up, right, a user interface. Let's see here.
I don't know if I did the screen share. Maybe you can do it. You the co-host. Brenda, okay, yo, so we got.
Hey, you gotta let Doc in, yo.
Oh yeah, for sure. Go ahead, Dr. Mine. I'll pause.
Let her in. She's stuck.
I thought she was in.
Oh,
no, she fell off. She went to get on her computer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, there she go.
Yeah, Chef not paying attention to the daggone waiting room, Chef.
Right.
Hey, Dr. Mine. No, Unc and Brendan and Cedric are co-hosts.
So they just on him.
It didn't pop up on my screen.
It's only popping up yours, Chef. See? Trying to get us, but we understand this too. It didn't pop up, bro.
And I apologize, Dr. Mine. I'm just running my mouth and rambling.
Oh no, it's all good. It was a beautiful. No, yeah, you wasn't rambling at all. You were actually giving you and Brother Cedric, you all were giving the people, accurate information. I love how Brother Cedric broke down what it takes. He described the process by which we achieve, advanced degrees perfectly. And I've been having conversations with Ark about this, and Ark can attest to this. Years. I've been telling Ark, I said, I never been in a community full of people that are experts in everything. I've never seen it. And I told Ark, I've met people who were expert linguists, expert scientists, expert engineers, experts in K through 12 education. I've never been in a community where everybody was an expert in everything. And I often talk to Ankh about how, we got to be careful with that whole word research. This is my research. This is my research. It's not your research simply because you Googled it. Okay. That's not what we call research. The whole objective of research is to discover new information. That is what research is. Research isn't what people in this community are calling research. In the academy, we would call it regurgitation. Okay. Yes. They call it research. We call it regurgitation. And I love how Brother Cedric also broke down that, in order to get, your doctorate or your PhD, you have to contribute to the body of knowledge, i.e. you have to add new information. Not, I read this in this book or I read this in this article, so now it becomes mine. No, that is called regurgitation. And if you don't cite it, we call it plagiarism. So, Brother Brendan did a wonderful job explaining to you what plagiarism is. And he's right. There are a number of tools that we use to catch plagiarism. In fact, when I had submitted my dissertation, it had to go through a plagiarism checker. And so when it goes through the plagiarism checker, you get a score, right? They score it. And if my dissertation, if the score for my dissertation exceeded a certain threshold, then they would have rejected my dissertation because they would have said it's too much plagiarism. You get what I'm saying? And so he was 100% correct in talking about plagiarism and how at the, in academia, we frown upon it. And we also train our students so they can recognize what plagiarism is and not do it. And so can I share my screen, Chef?
Yeah, somebody got a
Can I just share it or?
Yeah, you can share it. You should be able to share it.
Okay. All right.
The green
so,
share button.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that because I know sometimes when you
Right. I hope it ain't on there. Like,
yeah,
I know what you're saying.
Exactly. So okay, here it goes. I'm gonna share my screen. Oh, it says host disable participant screen sharing. Yeah, exactly. So someone has to allow all participants
Chef,
to share.
real quick. How you do this?
Brandon's co-host.
It's coming up for me. Okay, I'll just make you I know what to do.
Oh, make me a little co-host. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
I just did all participants as well.
Okay, all right, go ahead. Can you do it now, Doc?
Okay, all right. So let me okay, so this is you're looking at my welcome presentation. Can everyone see my screen where it says welcome to EEGR 105?
Yes, I can see that.
Yes.
Okay, good. Yep. Okay, so good. So you're looking at a welcome presentation that I give to my EEGR 105 students. And EEGR is a course at Morgan State University entitled Introduction to Electrical Engineering. Okay, but I wanted to point this out. If we scroll to the bottom of the presentation, what do we talk about? Hold on. Academic dishonesty policy. Okay, so we get into the academic dishonesty policy. And we talk about academic dishonesty is not valued in the School of Engineering. Under no circumstances shall a student represent the original words or ideas of others as your own. If any words or ideas used in a class postings or assignment submissions do not represent your original words or ideas, then the student committed academic fraud, plagiarism. Okay. And so, I think Brendan pointed that out, that in the academy, we take this very serious. In fact, in the introduction to engineering, electrical engineering course, I also bring in a professor by the name of Dr. Jakob Astaki. As a matter of fact, he used to be a professor at the School of Engineering, and now he's like the VP for international affairs. So he works in that particular department now. And so he comes in and he gives a presentation on responsible conduct of research. All right. I just want to comb through it really quickly. So he talks about that, and hold on. So he says, why discuss responsible conduct of research and academic integrity? Well, he wants to develop a common foundation for the School of Engineering and whole university, promote best practices, and comply with regulatory, school, and department requirements, protect professional reputation, and do the right thing. So our students sit through, an entire presentation where we talk about, trust and honesty and accuracy and objectivity when conducting research. We even talk about, the NSF, so the National Science Foundation, and the National Institute. I forgot what the H stands for, but we talk about that and what their views are on the research. Okay. And look at this. Hold on. I'm just going through. This isn't my presentation. I'm just combing through his. But he talks about, promoting research integrity. Look at this. Respond effectively to allegations of research misconduct. So we even have an office of research integrity. All right. Hold on. So then we get into what is research misconduct, fabrication, falsification, and plagiarism. Note, research misconduct does not include honest error or differences of opinion, right? So some people do make honest errors, right? Sometimes it is an honest error, but there's a difference between, making an honest error and fabricating, falsifying, and plagiarizing, right? And so we get into what fabrication is, and fabrication is making up data or results and recording and reporting on them. So you fabricated it, you just made it up. Falsification is when you manipulate the research materials, equipment, or processes, or changing or omitting data or results such that the research is not accurately represented.
Not what the cigarette company did. They misrepresented the data. It's tobacco companies.
I don't know, Unc. I don't want to speak on that. I don't know.
I'm going to speak on it.
Oh, go ahead and speak on it.
Yes, that's what they did.
Yeah, they manipulate the data and stuff like that. As a matter of fact, they're doing it right now in other countries. They're actually doing it now.
right? In other countries, they misrepresent the data. They're not giving, all the proper, information behind tobacco. But go ahead, though. I just wanted to give an example for what you were talking about.
Okay, no, beautiful. And so it says right here, proof of research misconduct. It says it requires that there be a significant departure from accepted practices of the relevant research community and misconduct be committed intentionally, knowingly, and recklessly. So we're saying that, proof of that, we know that the conduct was committed. You did this intentional. You knew what you were doing, right? And so he's going into all of that, but, understanding, look at this, hold on. Appropriation, it says, so he's giving some more clarity on it, saying a closer look at plagiarism. Appropriation means using or taking something that is not yours. Plagiarism is using another person's words or ideas without proper attribution. Plagiarism is academically dishonest because faculty, scholars, and students are expected to do original work. So that's why when Brother Ankh and I would have conversations on the side, and I, I'm not trying to knock, but people, this is my book, I came out with my book, and I'm like, wait a minute, is this original work? Now, in books, is it okay to cite people? Yes, to support your ideas and thoughts and your work, absolutely. But at the end of the day, when you say I've published a book, you're telling me that you've contributed to the body of knowledge out here. And what I've told Brother Ankh is a lot of these books that these people in the community pride themselves in producing, to me, I look at it as a massive book report. That's how I review it in academia. It's not really, I got a book. And it's like, okay, so what were your new findings? Because typically we only publish when we're presenting new findings. Otherwise, we don't publish in academia. Okay. But it just seems like in the conscious community, people publish whenever they do a Google search and they find out or they learn something that they didn't know before. So it says right here, plagiarism, it gets into that, means taking or using any of the following intellectual property without permission or giving credit. Words. So when you rearrange phrases, copying a string of consecutive words or paraphrasing extensively. Ideas, when you're using original information learned from confidential reviews, conference presentations, etc. Okay. Processes. Okay. Adopting or using research methods, project steps described by another investigator or student, especially when the research method or project process is not common knowledge or open-ended. Results, when you're using or reporting data, figures, or tables in project or laboratory reports that represent another investigator's or student's research project results. So how do we prevent plagiarism? It says, understand the difference between common knowledge and original ideas. Do the right thing, give credit, mark direct quotations and use reference citations, use disciplinary standards, follow your conscience. All right. And so then he gets into like Morgan State's rules of academic integrity. And this is the last thing I want to say before I pass the mic. You're looking at a system that we use at Morgan State University we call it our LMS, or your learning management system, which is Canvas, and another learning management system is Blackboard. And we used to use Blackboard a few years back, but we switched over to Canvas. And even places like Howard University, I think they use Canvas as well, or they may still be.
We use it at Penn State as well. It's awesome.
Okay. So you use it. Yes, a wonderful tool. And so brother Brendan, then you already know what I'm getting ready to show as far as the plagiarism checker is concerned. So at Morgan, I teach 3 classes. I was co-teaching another section. That's why you see 4 right here, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I'm going to go here to my freshman class, and I want to show you something.
My favorite class.
That's your favorite class. You come every year. We love you, Unc, when you come through. Matter of fact, I have your stuff up here. Hold on. Let me go to the modules. I have your presentation here. Here it is. Homework assignment, history from Mr. West. This was the lecture recording that we have of you speaking to the class. I don't even think I gave you a copy.
Nope.
Hold on, let me see. I got you. I got you on camera, brother. There you go.
I know, making me speak. Oh my goodness, don't use fillers. Don't do this. I was like sweating. I was like, I ain't never sweated this hard to talk to. I was like, man, no.
Professor
got him right here. Got him right here on camera.
And they sweating.
And they loved your presentation. But follow. So what I had the students do after his presentation is I had them write a paper. So they had to select like one of the people or events that Brother Onk mentioned in his presentation and submit a 1-page paper. So it says right here, if I click on edit, it'll show you, it gives professors an option, right? If I keep going down here, look what it says, plagiarism review. So we can literally turn on this plagiarism review and we can check these boxes, right? So it compares each submission against student repository. So that means that so in this learning management system at Morgan, it's going to check this student's submission against anything that was ever uploaded onto this learning management system. So the student repository, look at this website content. So it'll pinpoint, like if a student copied and pasted from a particular website, it's going to show me the website. It's going to highlight that section in the student's paper and take me to the website where the student got the quote from. Look at this, periodicals, journals, and publications. Okay. And so we can exclude, bibliographies and quoted materials and things of that nature. But you see, I have all 3 of these checked. And each student receives a score. But of course, I can't bring up, if I go here to, let me back out of the assignment. So in the right-hand corner where you see speed grader, if I were to click on this, it would bring up each student's name and their score. And it'll tell me, 25% plagiarized. Some students, I caught them red-handed, 99% plagiarized, And so it'll tell me exactly, so it produces a score for each student. But of course I can't, click on this and show somebody's grade. But brother was 100% correct. Brother Brendan was 100% correct when he talked about, how we at the Academy take plagiarism extremely, extremely serious. All right, so that's all I had to say, Brother Brendan.
Yeah, man, that was really, really good. I tell you what, you did a much better job than I did, sort of explaining that. That was a real. Seems like you guys have a positive.
Can I give a couple of
go ahead.
real life examples?
Yeah.
When
real life example.
When the pandemic struck up, and I was investigating. So I know my demographic. I understand my geography. I understand my social network on my island. So I was looking for a model to apply a system of how we're gonna either apply a suppression system or we're gonna use a curve model. I was looking for a model. So even though what I did was original, all the components were original as to my island, I kept referring to my concept is based on the Taiwanese model of how they approach their COVID plan. So it is endemic in an academic's nature to never take a credit for the work, even though it is all original work. It is based on the Taiwanese model developed by Dr. So-and-so. So there is no point in time that I would even think to not give credit or to directly cite where my model is based on. All academics go through this process. Their hypothesis, they go and read all the material to check if this concept is original indeed before they proceed with any steps forward. It is the nature of an academic. After 4 years, 5 years, 6 years of training, it is just the way you operate.
And that's actually how that's done. And for the record, I've written a few forwards, and I use that tool, Brendan, Grambling. That's a pretty good tool right there. So if you get too close to something, it'll let you know, and it'll let you click on where, you know what I mean, where you got it from or what you, and then make you cite it right. And you gotta actually, you know, reread the document and make sure, and then you run it back through again, and it'll let you know exactly, where you at in that process. So
Right,
yeah, that's
right.
just an
Yeah, for
important tool
sure.
for the whole community, man. That's a great tool. And by the way, I'm soon I'm gonna be working on my second pamphlet in my chronology series. Data change, information change, so it's time to upgrade the chronology of human evolution, right? And I'm gonna make sure I run it through Kofi joint. I'm gonna definitely do that for him, and you know what I'm saying, just to make sure that I support the brothers and what they're doing. So you know what I mean. That's that's a project we're gonna work on, and we're gonna make sure we get that right there. But yeah, I'm really appreciating the information here. I sent the link to Q Butter. I don't know where you at, Q Butter. Where you at? Where you at?
And
All right.
I never wanted to say make that observation myself, but I'm going to reiterate what Dr. Mayat said, because of course it is Doctor and it is Mayat and it is our queen. So I'm going to go after what she said. When in our community, what is considered writing a book? You know, if we're saying this is an essay, or we put our articles together and we present them in book form, great. But when we make claims of I'm writing a book, and especially it is not a novel, it is not a romance novel, it is not a piece of fiction. It is usually pertaining to either history or science or linguistics or these areas. It is a book report compared to an actual book, new information, new, like the claim is made, Reggie hasn't written a book, but Reggie is also a student and a high level trained in understanding the nuances of the Egyptian paradigm. I'm not going to go in too deep, but to call yourself a researcher and produce new information, it would require Reggie doing 5-6 years of research on a specific hypothesis that he came up with after reading and studying all the material that exists. To talk about producing a book in these settings, we need to be a little bit more cautious of what we're boasting about. What we're doing is like Dr. Mayat said, and we concluded in the last show, these are glorified book reports. Like, where's the hypothesis? Where's the new piece of research data? You know, and I don't want to sound like a prude or nose up in the air, because I'm like I haven't written a piece of book. Like, I got articles. Like, I can take my whole COVID training of my community, the articles I written, screening versus testing, and put all these things together, and I've got a beautiful collection of my articles, but there is no new scientific information that I contributed to say that I'm coming out with a groundbreaking book because I have this hypothesis. It is worked out based on this method, and my piece of future projection is that I'm going to discover the X of the Y of Z within the next 15 years. That's new information. That's the stuff you put in a book. This is what PhD students do. They finish their research and then they write a book and they get their book published, and that's how they make some money to recuperate the extra years of study and reading and not having any other life doing the necessary work. So we need to put some weight and some credit on what true academia means. Like I'm a college graduate. My equivalent is in the US would be a master's. However, I have not contributed in the meantime to the body of work. I've worked in policy development of re-engineered labs. I've developed special laws, etc. But it's all based on the existing body of work within my field. So which book am I going to write? Why would I? So although I appreciate the effort that people put in to putting the information together, and especially when you own the information to the extent that you could dumb it down for somebody like me to enjoy, chronology or Garfie's book on dismissing the idea of Black Hebrew Israelites. I can appreciate that work, but far too often, like, people try to discredit Reggie's work by saying he hasn't written a book, as if you don't understand the academic rigor and vigor that it takes to produce a academic piece of work called a book. Like, we need to slow down on that for a second. We're going over plagiarism. These things are what we're gonna find within the realm that we're having these discussions, because of course, when we're asking what we're doing is we're pulling information from everywhere and putting it together and repackaging it. So plagiarism is going to be one of the major subjects that we're faced with in this community. But to turn around and misinterpret how Reggie's article was put together, for example, again, if I put the periodic table in a piece of chemistry work that I'm doing, can you call that plagiarizing? No, because that is the foundation on which all work is built. So if Reggie is using the hieroglyphs, the original, the facsimiles, and he's using the transliterations that establish how we are able to decipher the language, that is not plagiarism. That is the foundation from which you build your arguments. So like, when I hear these things, it just boggles my mind.
Yeah, and I'm going to go ahead and do just a quick, brief sort of demonstration in terms of what may be some of the confusion, right? In terms of the I guess the alleged plagiarism that Brother Reggie was accused of in his article. So if you guys see my screen here, right? So I've got up this plagiarism tool, Grammarly.
Yeah.
And see, one of the first things I wanted to do, I was interested in Brother
Corey.
Hey, Corey.
Peace. What up? Peace to the panel, man. Peace to the chat. I see y'all got the sister doctor in here. Sister Doctor Maya.
We had to bring some experts on the show real quick.
Definitely.
Go ahead,
what's
Brendan,
going on? What up, Kent, Cedric, Brendan, everybody, man? What's up, Pete? Go ahead, though, Brendan.
Yeah. So what I wanted to do, just as a quick fun thing, right? So you see, I got Brother Unk's famous quote up here, right? So, well organized lie defeats a disorganized truth every time. Ooh wee, right? So we all know that. Let's see if this is an original quote, right, that can be contributed to Brother Unk, or is this found anywhere else and can be attributed to anybody else, right? So we've got this inside the quote, the plagiarism checker, right? So we're going to just go down to the bottom and we're going to just hit this for plagiarism. I've already ran this, so there's no gotchas there, right? Looks like this is 100% original text, right? So we can say Brother Unk, he didn't steal this particular quote from anybody else, right? This is his original stuff, right? So I'm going to do
I was sweating over here or something?
I gave him that. You know what I mean? I gave him that through the iPhone thing, though, Brendan. They're not going to have it plagiarized. You know what I mean? But he really stole that. Yeah, he did.
Oh,
no, I'm just fucking.
Right. Now that's just an example, I guess you would say, of an original work, right? There's zero.
What about my thing? My thing, Brendan. That's original too, though, right?
Right.
A lie make it halfway around the world before the truth get out of bed and get his pants on. We're
gonna run that one later on in the show. That's a good one. I'm gonna take note of that, right?
There you go.
Right. So here's the second example. This is our sister CK's blog. Right? And shout out to Sister CK. If you guys are really interested in this blog, hey, Ken.
Ken.
Oh, my bad. Shit.
You got nothing on. Jesus Christ.
Right?
Hold on.
I thought I was muted, man. My bad.
Man, I got a shot to throw. I got to do it. It just wouldn't be fair if I just didn't do this. I got to say it. I got a burning desire. Who amongst you actually believe that Wuja and the great Sahotep actually have changed the name of Egypt? Who actually believes that?
Uh-oh.
That's interesting right there. 5,000 years of history. Do you really think they changed the meaning of the name, Kim? How successful will they be? Interesting. Yeah, go ahead. Go back to my show.
Right.
I don't even get what.
And that is a crazy think about it.
That is cool. Yeah, we got to get back. We got to come back to that, right?
Yeah, I'm confused as a mofo.
We don't got to stay that long. I just want to throw a joke. That's a joke. That's a joke to my comrade. That's just a joke. Because that's a hell of a one right there. We're going to give them the Nobel Prize in quote unquote linguistics. We're going to give if they get it through. But go ahead. I'm joking.
Right. So you guys see Sister CK's blog on the screen, right?
So man.
Yeah, again, a shout out to her. This is a WordPress blog, right? This is publicly available via the internet, right? So I'm gonna start actually checking out some of her work, man. It looks like she's got some stuff in here that's gonna be interesting. She's got poetry. She's got links to the old Pseudo killer videos. She's got Black history in here, right? So this is gonna be a really, really good blog. So I wanted to kind of use this as an example because it is actually publicly available via the internet. So it's what we call in the wild, right? So I want to go ahead and check Sister CK's work for plagiarism, right? Again, I've already did this. There's no gotchas here, right? I wanted to just use this as an example of what you would sometimes see as what we call a false positive, right? Inside of a plagiarism checker, right? Mm-hmm. So I just did an exact copy, right? This is a copy and paste 1-for-1, right? Again, this is Grammarly. It's a grammar tool. For this particular exercise, I'm not really concerned about grammar. I'm just going to say, I'm going to admit this, right? And of course, anytime you copy and paste into Grammarly directly, right, it's going to jumble up, a lot of your formatting. Again, I'm not really interested in that, but what I'm interested in is the plagiarism check, right? Mm-hmm. And of course, right, what you see on the screen here is a 100% plagiarized result, right? Right? Can you guys see what's on my screen? Everything's in green, right? With inside of Grammarly regarding plagiarism, green is bad, right?
Right.
So any idea why this would be, her work would come up as 100% plagiarized, right?
It matches her own work. It's saying it matches Johnny Kessler's blog poetry and such more, much more. Right?
Bingo. Yeah. Right. CK's blog is published, right? It's publicly accessible. It's in the wild via the internet, right? So these tools, they're meant to go out and search, right? Dr. Ma'at mentioned it earlier. Websites, publications, journals, all those things, right? Remember, Brother Reggie's work is published, right, in a publicly available, right, on the internet, inside the Journal of Pan-African Studies. Right. So if you actually take a look at this, right, if I click this is going to take me right back to CK's blog. Right. Again, right. This is what you call an instance of a false positive. Right. A false positive being that there's an erroneous report of a plagiarism condition. And if you don't really know what you're looking at, right, and if you don't have some experience with these tools, right, that can be somewhat misleading. Right. So
and it said 100. It's at 100%, right?
100%.
100%.
That's we've seen that before.
Now,
comprehension issues.
Now, if you think about it, Brother Reggie's work is about 9,500 words, right? 25 pages inside the journal, 9,500 words. That's a lot of text, right? All right. The first thing that should been a red flag, right, or something kind of suspicious, is 100% plagiarism on a document that contains 9,500 words, right?
Especially when the biblical scribes couldn't even get it right, and they were trying to copy it for real. Like they was trying. The whole thing was to copy it word for word. And these niggas can't get a 100% plagiarism on that. That shit is crazy.
Corey in the building.
Right.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, and again, right? They say again, this is something what we call, if the document is published, right, or it's out there in the wild, that's one instance of where you may get a false positive, right? Some other instances where you may get a false positive, right, is places where you have what you would call block quotes inside of the text, right? Places where you have inline quotes, right? Or places where you have a string of text that has a corresponding inline citation, right? The tool may flag on that, but in reality, it's not considered plagiarism because it's properly cited, right? I guess you would say the credit for the work is already included inside of the text. That's why you have to kind of, get some training. That's why the universities actually give the students some training using these particular tools so that you don't make these kind of mistakes, right? Again, these tools are really powerful, right? And just like any other powerful tool, right? If you're standing against, beside somebody that picks up a chainsaw, right? The first thing you need to ask yourself, right? How much skill does this person have with this tool, right? If there's any doubt in your mind, right, you should probably, put a little bit of space between you and that person using the chainsaw, right? Because you can end up doing more harm than good with some of these tools, especially when you start, especially when you start making accusations about plagiarism, right?
Yeah,
because that goes to academic integrity and honesty. So I'm gonna stop sharing.
Brendan, I'm glad you brought that up, man, because we kind of seen that lately on both sides of the river, and we never ever wanted to do that shit, right? And so going forward, man, we just gonna make sure we act in everything we do. And this is exactly what the pseudo killers do, man. We fight for accuracy. So like I like to say all the time, man, you got Cosmic Corey, man. Hell, he poured concrete for a living, man. You got Kent, man. He crashed donuts around the back of the damn truck and coffee all day long, man. Hell, I'm vacuuming buildings and shit and washing out toilets half the damn time. Y'all don't hear me, the damn vacuum cleaner. You got Chef and L. He cutting hair all damn day long, right? So Vance, man, he printing shirts. You know what I'm saying? So, we just average people, except for a couple of experts we got around us, man, that kind of keep it stirred up, man. It's a real healthy mix on the pseudo killers. You know what I'm saying? And I heard we had some disrespect of some sisters in the chat. Now, I'm gonna let y'all know right now, right? That ain't what we do. We do not disrespect the sisterhood, yo. As a man, right, we fight hard not to disrespect the sister. I don't teach my boys that, right? Like you're just physically stronger than a sister. So you would never try to impose your will on a sister, right? You just wouldn't do it, right? It makes me uncomfortable to see brothers talking shit. Niggas don't talk shit like that to me. So leader says, if I catch you in the chat, calling names out on the damn sisterhood, I got to deal with that. Right? So let's get back to the show. Yeah, so we talking about experts, right? And the real thing I'm saying is I'm seeing some nonsense flowing around, and I'm going to speak on it, whether you like it or not. I have to, right? This thing of ours, all right? This thing we do, fighting for scientific literacy, fighting for accuracy in the truth, fighting for being able to mine our history out of the damn dirt, using the tools of archaeology, okay, biology, and other tools to get African history, to get early African history, right? To get American African history, right? We rely on science. Science is the best tool used to get us there. And we rely on the experts. So it's been a whole lot of misconceptions of what a consensus is and what an expert is. And let's not, the consensus doesn't mean too much. So let me call out the two brothers who are doing this lately. Brother Asal Hotep and Brother Ujah. And everybody know I fuck with them, right? So we actually have discourse on Garfield Show in a couple places. I was kind of hearing them say, well, the consensus don't necessarily mean nothing. And I heard all that. And I'm like, well, I'm going to let it slide a little bit. But then I heard it again. And then I heard people mimicking that shit, right? And then I say, well, that was dangerous. Right? I also had conversations about experts, going back and forth in real life. And then I heard people mimicking that bullshit. So when I started to hear that bullshit, I got to be the one that called it out. And I'm going to call it out because that is the only thing we have to separate us from the slap crazy pseudos. How can I allow that to fly? Right, wrong, and indifferent. That's all we got. Like hell, that's all I use is the experts. I refuse to call myself an expert. I don't call myself a scholar. I don't call myself none of that. I can say I wrote a book, a pamphlet, and I say that. But I never say I'm an expert. So if you take the tool of experts away, then what the hell do I got to fight with? As a matter of fact, then what the hell do the average people have to fight with? Right? In times where subject matter is such complicated, like the pandemic, right? Like, would you ask them to not rely on the experts and rely on some Yahoo who took a Dr. Sadie class on the internet? 10 years after Sadie been dead, watching YouTube videos, would you want your family members to listen to that person as they play around with herbs? No, you wouldn't. No, you would not at all. You would want them to be advised by experts. Now, all the teams, man, did a great job during the pandemic, man, of bringing people to a wealth of knowledge, right, about 1, pandemics, 2, COVID, 3, immunology, virology, right? We've done a great job on it. But none of us are experts in that subject. We simply presented information and data that was presented by the experts. So for me, this is my piece. I will bang on you till the stars come out, or till there will be no more stars in the sky. I'm not trying to hear, well, experts make mistakes, because if you're telling me that experts make mistakes, right, and then you're telling me that science makes mistakes, that I understand that you don't know or understand about experts in science. Like, we know that. That's all in the equation. Of course, experts make mistakes. And of course, there's plenty of mistakes in science. But of course it is. Those who are scientifically literate understand all these things. And try to play back hard. Now, I'm not calling my brothers dedicated pseudos, right? Because they fight hard for scientific literacy. I'm just saying it becomes a slippery slope when you remove that block. There's a ironclad block, right? Fixed, right? There's a tank fixed right in between the pseudos and those who promote scientific literacy. If you remove that ironclad block, or if you remove that tank, then what do you have? How do the average person tell the difference between what the Amara Squad is saying, Pseudo Killers is saying, the Masi is saying, Kofi Pasai research team is saying, and what the damn dedicated pseudos are saying? How can we tell the difference? The thing that's in the middle is stop the two from clashing is the experts. It's scientific literacy. Qualifications need to be duly noted. I'll never forget it when I met Dr. Mayat, right? Like, I always got to do it. Like, if you say you're a doctor, you don't got to be a doctor. But if you said I got to see it, she was like, what? I said, let me see what you got. She was like, what, nigga? She whipped that shit out of her pocket. I was like, huh? I had never seen it in your daggone wallet. Like, I'd never seen that. She whipped out a little thing she was carrying the money in, and boom, she showed her card, right? Proving and verifying that she's a doctor, right? So, man, like, what do we do? So I'm just saying, for me, right? And what I want to do and what I want to continue to do, I can't speak on everybody else, right? I think Cedric said it best. Man, look, man, we space age Africans, yo. And if it got to be a split in between the space age Africans and the Stone Age Africans, man, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? I love both sides, right? I have no problem with that. But last time I checked, a Stone Age African got to go to goddamn work, got to participate in science and technology. And so that shit should be cool, right? To be verified by experts. That should not be a problem. So if you run around here thinking that you're toppling the experts, right? And you run around here thinking that the scientific consensus, you know what I'm saying, ain't the scientific consensus, right? So what is the scientific consensus? Well, I like to say this. When two lawyers argue, scientists don't argue like that. When two lawyers debate a case, scientists don't debate like that. So lawyers are trying to argue facts and how you perceive this and do that, back and forth. I got this statement of facts right here. I got this, and we're trying to debate that. Well, that's not what scientists do. Scientists aren't debating with one paper. Scientists are actually having conversations over the data, right? Statistics based off of this, and this. And I gave the example of, well, fluoride, right? In the water, right? In France, they want to take it out, the fluoride out the water. Okay? Because of a scientific paper, right? They want to take it out of the water. But in the United States, we got about 70 years of compiled data that clearly shows that fluoride doesn't do none of the stuff that they're claiming it does. So at that point, we got to go with the collection of data. That's why they have clinical trials, which is the gold standard, because it's the collection of data, right, that scientists actually debate over. Climate change. Are humans pushing climate change? Right? Based off the data, we understand that the climate is changing and humans are pushing forward climate change. Not because one paper popped up. Remember, the food industry, a lot of times they like to use that one paper. Well, wine is good for you today, or tomorrow is bad for you based off of one article. That's not what science does. So I never want to hear you say, well, you know, the experts can be wrong. Well, or here's the famous one these days. Well, that's appeal to authority. No, we're not saying that just because you're an expert, you're right. That's not what we're saying at all, right? We're not saying we're relying on one expert. We're not saying that at all. We're saying there's a collection of data points compiled that help us understand and make those decisions. That's what science is. Simple as that. So, you know what I'm saying? Anybody can dive in there, man.
Hey, let me add on to that.
Yeah, go ahead, Concrete Coy. Yeah, please add. Where the hell you been at, Concrete Coy? Cosmic
man,
Coy?
you know, this is my busy season or whatever. So I'll be
that's
busy.
right. That's right.
But to add on what you're saying, it's not just one paper, right? It's not just one scientist. You know, it's not just because this guy is an expert that he's automatically right just because he's an expert, right? I was talking to Netanyahu a couple days ago. We was on his show doing a live, and I was telling him, like, in science, things are multidisciplinary. So you cross-confirm things through other disciplines within science. So I gave an example about how the Earth was made, right? So you can get an astrophysicist to tell you how the Earth was made, right? But everything that astrophysicist tells you has to line up with the geologist says, right? Because there's certain geological facts about the planet Earth, right? And then even the geologist has to be cross-confirmed by seismologists. Because when you're talking about Earth and how the planet was made, then you got to get into plate tectonics and shit like that. So a seismologist would be an expert in plate tectonics and things like that. You know what I'm saying? And how the motion of the plates and the faults and all that workout and all of that has to line up. So now we go all the way back to the astrophysicist and see, does everything this guy says line up with all of the other disciplines? And that's how you understand and how we reach conclusions in science. We don't listen to one guy or one discipline within science. This is a multidisciplinary facet to get to these scientific conclusions. But go ahead, somebody else can jump in there.
I'd like to add.
Shout out to Ned and Ned, man. Hold on. Shout out to Ned and Ned, though, man. Later on, we're going to open up the panel. Right?
Shout out to Ned and Ned. Shout out to him, bro.
And Corey, I concur with every word you said, because like it's multidisciplinary, and any given point that you stand on, there are many factors or many positions within science that confirms the position that you're standing on. Again, when we hear these arguments being brought to the table, it is a question of ability to apply good and sound reasoning. What we're seeing here is the fallacies in logical processing of information. So now we're trying to poison the well, as if discrediting science will allow then for your position to become valid. Nothing about your position becomes valid, even if the body of science that we have now becomes invalid. You still would have to validate your position by means of the same scientific process. So it denotes a fallacy in the processing of information, and we're seeing the underlying comprehension issues when dudes try to be experts in everything. On our pseudo killers, each one holds their corner and respects the other's efforts in understanding a particular subject matter. Now, we don't claim to know everything, and that's why we're in a position to learn. But from the time you think you're going to discredit science as if that is going to validate your position, then we have bigger issues than just the comprehension of science, if you catch my point.
Yeah, absolutely, Cedric. That's a definitely a good point to make. You know, you have to be able to, just be. It's not like somebody's listening to Neil deGrasse Tyson because he's Neil deGrasse Tyson and he's made so many achievements and this, that, and the other. And he's got documentaries, TV shows. No, like his work is confirmed through multi-disciplines, and I say it a million times, we all enjoy the byproducts of the real science that's done. Everybody on this panel right now is enjoying a byproduct of not only physics, right? But engineering and computer programming and all this. If these people are not correct, then these byproducts don't work properly. It don't pass. If the physicists say certain things are supposed to work a certain way, and then the engineer builds these things based on these physics, and then it does, and then you send it to another engineer, and then he figure out, this actually doesn't work. So now you got to go back to the physicist, like, something ain't right working out with this equation. It's not, all of this stuff is cross-confirmed through multi-disciplines. So, the misuse of appeal to authority has run rampant through this community. So I think we misinterpret and overuse certain terms and use them in a dishonest way, you know.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, let's segue into the conversation we got is really for the babies, right? And I got Q-Butter on here. And so Q-Butter, can you kind of lay out the importance of teaching STEM to the babies? Because I know that's something you do, and that's something that Dr. Oyamayat is doing right now in Baltimore, Maryland. So yeah, you wanna dive in real quick on that? Where you at, Q?
What's good, Fanny? Black Power.
Man, Black African Power, man.
Black Power, King.
Peace, brother. Peace,
brother Q.
I mean, one, even to the conversation we're having, the science, technology, engineering, mathematics isn't everything. And so our ability to really be able to, I want to say, articulate our understanding of society in and of itself and the capabilities that society has, the functions and roles of how, different parameters of society develop, they're all interconnected to STEM. So the disassociation that we find with our children with STEM, and then the general population in America, disassociation to STEM, I find it to be like very much tied to like just our view of education, especially within social studies and disconnect with math. Now, specifically with our community, one, our numbers are beyond atrocious and like the lack of representation in STEM. I think we're like 6% or less, 7% of those gainfully employed or monetarily supported by STEM, especially when we're like one of the main proponents of STEM in the country. So with numbers like that, it's very challenging to see how it could have, but just to get us to understand why it's important. So in the schools, there's a lot of programs going on, trying to get people introduced to coding, people to get introduced to mostly coding, which I do have an issue with. But for me, my goal in just having people understand how important STEM is, one is understanding from a social studies context. So like when our curriculum, one of the main components is to analyze society through an engineering perspective, how each society developed and what engineering capacities it had to make sure society was able to maintain itself over time, and the different things that it did within the environment, and that connects the environmental aspect of it. Now, sustainability would be the primary purpose for me and why we teach STEM. If we truly want to be independent as a Black community, of course, that's what we want. STEM is, to me, the answer to it all, even from the conversations about vaccinations to food, health, military protection, armoring, whatever you want to talk about, that's all underneath STEM. So if we truly want independence, we need to know how to make, we need to be thrusting ourselves completely into STEM. Even out to the Institute, I don't think I would have been able to complete the Institute the way I have if I didn't have an understanding of like digital applications, organizational skills, and, a real strong understanding of technology, to which a lot of people don't have that understanding of technology. Let me see. And then lastly, I will go into like the kind of the categories to which we're being exposed to STEM. To me is speaks to the underlying racism and the lack of the lack of intellectual capacity that we find in our community right now. And that's just a reality. The politicians don't have an understanding of STEM, so they don't know where the money's supposed to go. The principals in our schools don't understand STEM, so they don't know how to create STEM programs. The teachers aren't, well versed in STEM. So it is a real trickle down and logistical challenge we have with actually trying to find ways to teach children STEM. And why I said I had an issue with coding is because, they're throwing coding at Black kids because it's like cheap. And it's like, yo, go code games, while Indian kids and Asian kids are being showed electrical, mechanical engineering, structural engineering, design, statics, mechanisms, machines. And when they reach a high school level or to collegiate level, they're, like I said, interdisciplinary. I do disagree with certain perceptions of it. And I feel like in engineering, you really see the height of what you're saying to me. Because there's like in engineering, a lot of the ideas of theories get thrown out the window, and it's really like this works and it's proven to work. and we're going to go with works. And if not, we're going to base it off of something else. And so, you know,
hold on, Q. I want you to repeat that again. You said with engineering, you said that we throw the theory and the ideas out and really see it with engineering.
Because no, I say with engineering, out of all of the sciences, to me, it's a lot more exact.
Okay. Yeah, meaning. But what did you say about the theories and ideas? Because with
other fields, you know, I'm a science head, like astronomy head, so I always feel like other sciences were a lot more like opinionated. There's a lot of perception room inside of there, especially the social sciences and stuff like that. Right. I mean, in that sense, with engineering, it's like you have to know this formula. If you don't know your kinematic equations, if you don't understand, you know, your differential equations, if you don't understand how forces and the application of forces, applied forces, if you don't know the theories of electronics, you don't get to produce anything. It's just that simple.
Absolutely. You know, so with engineering, we make it come alive. So we make those theories and ideas come alive. Okay. I just want to make sure.
Yeah, it's very right and exact. Like the room for arguing stuff is like, go over there, you know, let's make something. But it costs a lot to make stuff. And I think that's one of the challenges in the community where, like, you know, to really get our children to learn STEM, they have to be afforded or, provided with the materials to actually introduce them, expose them to these fields in STEM. And it can't be just this one-off like you do it on the weekend. It has to be really shown from, like, how do I word it? Like a very cultural, digested. Like, you know, you have friends who are auto mechanics and their kids are mechanics. You know, we need that feeling with STEM. Like, oh, my father's an electrician, so I'm an electrician. Or my father does electrical engineering. My father's a metallurgist. My mother's a metallurgist. My mother's a chemist. You know, we need that cultural refinement part of it, I guess, so we can like really have fun with it. So I personally feel like a lot of the fun components is missing with STEM. And so the challenge has become real difficult because when you show a kid, you know, to a student some STEM stuff, they like it. And then the next part is that when they get to college, they may not be properly developed with mathematics. And so when they get introduced to high levels of math and the theoretical aspects of what they have to do with whatever they're designing, they wind up getting turned off. And this is a huge issue right now in America, not just the Black community, where it's like you show kids STEM, when they get to college level, they completely drop out. And so in the Black community, it's even harder. Like kids are just like, they'll start off with going to school for whatever field and in STEM. And yes, I do fields in STEM. I know the men don't like to be with STEM, but it's STEM as well. And a lot of times people drop out of it because of the math. And so introducing us to the math, introducing us to the theories, the application of the theories, and exposing them to, or giving them, you know, the space to actually play around with the applications with engineering and in STEM, it's really difficult, you know. But these are the challenges that we have to meet. And I just think, you know, I'm a little long-winded right now, but
where you draw the line at though, kid? You know, man, you done got in discussions and all. I'm like, man, how you stemmed up, but then you know, like the vaccine conversation, we a little rough on the edges, completely. Or you'll say, well, that's the white man. I don't trust that. Like I'll be confused on that part right there, though. That's, you know what I'm saying. So, like for me, when I'm teaching my kids STEM, man, I hope I do a great job. I want to take since the white people said it, then it ain't right. I like to take that out of it, you know. So where do you stand right there?
Again, the perception of the statistics or the data. For example, when I teach astronomy, I'm not a fan of the Big Bang concept.
What? Oh, you just dove out the window.
No, I'm definitely not. Like, to me, to have the way. Yeah,
go ahead. No, go ahead.
So, but I teach. So the way I teach it is that these are the observations that led astronomers to the concept of why they have the Big Bang. So I make sure that they understand that these are the observations. This is the science, the observations. This is what led to the theory. So the theory is the collection of all of the ideas that went about from the experiments and the different parts of the data that come together and say, like, all right, this is our overall theory. However, the theory is still just, at that point, something that's being applied to try to make sense of all of the data that was collected. That's when it gets a little messy in certain theories. Now, specifically the Big Bang, there's a lot of leaps that they have to make the Big Bang Theory, be accepted. And those leaps, for me, there's a lot of assumptions there. So, and that's just going out from the
theory. It's a theory.
No, it's a theory. However, but
you can't say it's a theory. However, right?
No, I can't. Like, that's not there's room for other theories. There's room for other views of the observations. For example, with dark matter, there's people that feel like, you know what, maybe we're just viewing the observations of the flattening of galaxies, or the possible warping of space. Maybe we're viewing it in a wrong way. So there's views that, there's the assumed mass. For example, the observation of Hubble's constant. Hubble's constant is now down to like 15 meters per second. There's other people that have, I think that was 17 parsec, whatever it is per second. But when he first observed it, he had it like 70 parsecs, whatever it is per second. And so the observation of the actual expansion, the movement of galaxies, that is being always done at a how to word it, at a greater effective rate over time. So the numbers change. And so based off of the numbers changing, the age of the universe changed. So all of these, and like somebody said earlier, like all of these
over time they get more precise, is exactly what you're saying. Right.
So
science always allows, for you to be more precise. I don't know. It sounds like, because within the theory, right, you're talking about a group of facts, and you can with the Big Bang Theory, right? You're absolutely right. I mean, it's not. I wouldn't say it's the end all be all. Science don't work in absolutes or nothing like that.
No.
So the thing is, as technology grows and our ability to observe becomes broader, then we add to the data. So that's one of the things how science, basically that's where we stuck at within science. You know what I mean? So
like I'll say in the physics world, like it's funny. There was this kid who was on my platform the other day, and he was telling me that I was wrong for how I view the word gender. And I told him, I was like, bro, I was in schools teaching at Brooklyn College when they had a professional development meeting and said, this is the new way this word is to be used. And the science behind the word sex was completely changed. That's a fact.
No, we're confusing. We're confusing two things.
Oh man, that's a social science.
And that's why I said the social sciences. They you're not doing that with the kinematic equations.
I had that discussion before. Yeah, I think me and Sheffrin have had that discussion where I've been of that opinion where that's why I like the astrophysics and the physics and realm of things, because it's more solid, it's more concrete.
Evolution,
it's evolution, biology. Those things are more,
vaccine science.
Yeah,
what it is,
medical science. All of that
science
is all solid to me. Yeah, definitely.
Yes. I'm going to say this: before anything in science becomes a theory, like we can have a bunch of facts, right? We got a whole bunch of facts, and Corey says, well, I line them up A to Z, and Cedric says, I line them up Z to A. Concrete Corey says, well, I think lining up A to Z is the correct way. And if I'm correct, we're supposed to find that after Z, we're going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And Cedric says, well, no, we're going to line them up Z to A. And after the A, we're going to get 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So we both studied the facts, we lined them up, and we came up with a prediction. And when we go and look to determine which one of the predictions was right, So in this case, Concrete Corey said A to Z is going to produce 1 to 6. And A to Z indeed produce 1 to 6. So now Concrete Corey's explanation of the facts, we now quantify as the working theory, because anybody could explain the data post hoc. We could come up with 1,000,000 types of explanations for the data that's there. But what makes it a theory and what makes it sound in science is the predictive nature of the body of how that information is presented. So within the Big Bang cosmology, why it has been heralded as the working theory, it's because of the observance of the background radiation noise. This established fact that there was a rapid expansion of the universe from a singular point, and within our body of science, we got the fact that we can reduce that to the smallest Planck time, and after that, we move forward. But I'm going to yield the floor to Dr. Mayat at this point because she wants to interject. But yes. I just wanted to make that observation.
Thank you, Brother Cedric, because Unc knows that it's past my bedtime, well past my bedtime. I'm usually in the bed between
why you just jump in? You could have just jumped in. You ain't had to be all night.
I gotta let them know, man. I'm usually in bed like 2 hours ago, but I did want to say this.
You too.
I did want to say
wheels off tonight.
I did want to say that I agree with Brother Q Butter in that if we're serious about nation building, that we need to be involved in STEM. It's crazy how almost 100 years ago, Marcus Garvey called us he said we are the scientifically weaker race. And he encouraged us to become involved in science. And we have yet to hear the call, because less than 5% of engineers are Black. I know when I came through, it was about 3%. And if you count females, you were looking at maybe 1% if you were just looking solely at females. And so Q was correct in saying that typically, our babies and, who are in Baltimore, not just Baltimore, but urban public schools, they typically don't teach them STEM because STEM requires a lot of resources. And Q Buddy, you can attest, with the experiments that we've run, it's a lot of equipment. I mean, we order solar panels, buck converters, potentiometers. I mean, all sorts of stuff, especially if it's electrical. And I'm speaking specifically about electrical engineering. It requires a lot of resources, and it's resources that they don't give our children. And so by the time our children get to college, they're unprepared to successfully matriculate through a STEM program. Also, the math, he's 100% correct. The math gets a lot of our students. We're seeing that issue at Morgan. So we have a few programs that we offer students to assist them with the math. And so anyone under the sound of my voice in Q, but I don't know if you use this tool. It's a tool called Alex, ALEKS. It's a beautiful tool to strengthen your child's math skills. In fact, I use it in my home. My son is in the 6th grade, and I started him at the 2nd grade level and had him work his way up to this 6th grade in order to strengthen his math skills. And I only pay $20 a month for the subscription. And it's an adaptive tutoring system, meaning that it uses machine learning, which is also an engineering technique, but it uses machine learning to get a feel for what your child knows and doesn't know, and creates like a tailor-made tutoring, I guess you would say, agenda, right? Like for your child, right? Specifically for your child. And so Alex is a great tool to sharpen your children in math. But yeah, when our babies get to college, according to I have a reference here, Arneen 2019, says 40% of them change their major to non-STEM degrees. So we got to do a better job at preparing our students at the elementary and middle school level. I know people may want to say high school, but we could just say K through 12 level to ensure that they can successfully matriculate through a university STEM program. And another way of doing that is making sure that we have qualified people preparing them. What I've noticed in the pro-Black community or the African-centered community is that there are a lot of people in the community who say they have a STEM program. And when I look online, I see the children putting together kits on Amazon. And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with, ordering kits on Amazon. I order kits for my son all the time. But we can't say that the program is a STEM program simply because you're regurgitating STEM concepts and ideas and ordering kits on Amazon and having the kids put together, the kits. With the STEM program, is very, very important that you have K through 12 curriculum developers and also STEM professionals who are involved in developing the curriculum. Okay. I want to say that again. We should have STEM professionals. And this is a conversation tonight about experts, right? Experts should be involved in that process, okay? From curriculum development to curriculum implementation to the instruction. And what I noticed, and I really feel like our babies get slighted in the pro-Black community. I understand people's efforts and I applaud people's efforts for wanting to teach our babies STEM, but we have to do it the right way. And we can't say, oh, it's a STEM program because I'm doing some Amazon kits and I'm Googling concepts. Do we really understand these concepts when we're teaching it to our babies? Are the instructors qualified? Are the curriculum developers qualified to teach said material? And what I notice in our community is that you have unqualified instructors, i.e. instructors without a STEM background or without STEM training by a professional in there with our babies, teaching our babies. You also have people who have no idea about curriculum development in there saying, I have a curriculum. And I'm sitting here saying, well, who's your team, brother? Or who's your team, sister? Who do you have involved in teaching, involved in the curriculum, development and implementation and pedagogy, and so I just feel like we really need to level up in the so-called conscious community or African-centered community or centered community, whatever you want to label us. We have to do better. We got to do it right or not do it at all. Okay. And that's what I wanted to say.
That's a hell of a point there. And it's like, when you say conscious community, you say, like all of a sudden the white man becomes supreme, right? And that's interesting to me. And science get put, well, that's the white man science. You be like, damn, right? I heard it all through the pandemic. That's the white man's vaccine. I'm like, man, didn't the sister do that? The mRNA vaccine, like the Moderna, that's a sister right there. Running that research, right? And thank goodness it ain't based off of color, right? Because then, if it's based off of color, then we all in trouble. Science is a human endeavor. Now, see, I understand there are biases. There can be biases in science, right? That's why we need STEM programs in our community, and we need qualified experts. So in this community, when I came in, the experts were spit on. I'm gonna say it again. In this community, when I came in, if you was talking at Penn University, Morgan State University, you teaching that white boy shit. Well, they ain't Morgan and Black College. Oh no, they follow white man. You be like, really? It was based off of the flim blam bam bam boom. I remember that. Like I had vivid dreams of this nonsense, where the Phil Valentine, the Delbert Blairs, the red pill, the black pill, the Underground Railroad, and everybody in there in between, right? They was motivated from talking shit about the experts and how they had surpassed the experts and how white people don't know what they're talking about. And black people, if you're intelligent, right? If you're intelligent and you're practicing STEM, right? And you're an atheist, then you definitely following white people. Like you couldn't just come up with that idea of your own that I don't want, after February review, I'm waiting for God to come talk to you. Like you couldn't, black people couldn't do that. Couldn't figure that out. So it's been a hard stance against expertise and experts in what they call the conscious community, man. And I'm just glad to be a part of, right? Teams upon teams that drew a hard goddamn line in the sand. And I'm going to stay right there to the day I leave the community.
No, absolutely.
Hey, let Dr. Mayat go.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you gotta go.
Hey,
Josh.
y'all, let Dr. Mayat sign out. She got teach in the morning, y'all.
Before Dr. Mayat
Hey, Doc. Hold on. Hey, Doc.
Who's that talking, brother Chef?
No, this can't.
Who's that talking, brother Chef?
Somebody echoing on.
Oh, go ahead, brother Chef.
Somebody echoing on.
Y'all good? No, I was gonna tell you, Mom, before you go, man. Hey, thanks for putting me on that book, though, man. Like that junk, man. That junk fire, yo. I know it ain't got nothing to do with the subject, but we'll talk about it.
Oh yeah, we're gonna talk. I told you. It's that book literally.
Book?
No, it ain't no secret.
No, the book
book.
she put, the one she did a show on.
Yes, he know. But brother Onk, the color of money by Baron Darren. But brother Kent, that entire book changed my perspective. On that whole idea of black capitalism, because black capitalism is the answer. Mm-hmm. And then when I read that book and it went all the way back to
it was crazy, man. Like that, man, them banks. Woof.
Yes.
I ain't gonna lie. So what I find, like Dr. Mayat, like the points you made were great. I feel like I was on the end of the chopping block. And it's a reality. Like
which one?
No, because
let that go, man.
No,
y'all crazy, boy.
I'm being
hold on, I felt that.
No. The reason why this is good though.
Go ahead.
Like,
all right, go ahead.
Accountability and scrutiny is extremely important. Like I went on this YouTuber Pocket Water JT, and I told him like, yo, bro, I would love for you to scrutinize Zayax and make sure I'm squeegee clean and show me where I'm fucking up. It is a reality, so like, for example, in Brooklyn, right, it's crazy. So I dropped out of college, you know what I mean, at 94 credits. And the brother who was the top student in the program, he was teaching earth science at this high school, and the principal wanted to fire him and have me come in. Now, it's a challenge on the business side with creating an institute and at the same time having a STEM program. So the reason why I'm asking when I have this is, so what I'm doing with this STEM, right? And it's crazy. So I have to use popsicle sticks because the parents couldn't afford the kits. This summer, I'm trying to create my own kit. Forget try. My goal is to have my own STEM kit. But I've been using popsicle sticks, but I've been going from, I am definitely YouTubing and trying to figure out. I ask experts for help. They don't show up. And then I'm a little bougie. I'm not going to lie, because I see what the other communities are doing. And I do feel like some of the educated community in STEM in the Black community is a little mundane. Their view of it lacks fun. I know it keeps saying fun, but like I also deal with other communities and like they have like fun as a dentist. They have fun in their medical fields and they explore. And I feel like some of the people I find that are professionals in the community are just so stuck in just doing their job. Like, for example, welders, all my friends who weld, I'm like, look, bro, I'm going to build a car. I'm trying to build a car this summer. And I want to learn welding so that way I can do, certain things with fabrications and different things. None of my welding friends do fabrication for fun. And I'm like, all of my car friends, they know if you're a real mechanic, like the top mechanics, they do their welding and they do their pipe fittings and they do their curves all on their own. So it's like there's this mix up of the community where there's like the professionals are on one side, the people who are doing it entrepreneurially on the other side, and the people who are trying to teach it, they're stuck in the middle. And I won't just say it's only in the pro-Black community. This is also almost all of the city schools in New York. They have no clue how to teach STEM. It's completely all over the place. One thing I will say, they did do in New York was remove, and I did this with my institute, they removed literature and they replaced everything with STEM-based information or informational-based text. Now, I will ask, so what I'm doing right now, I'm going from static structures And so I started with making sure I'm how to like frame houses and stuff like that. I'm adding trusses next year. And I'm using that. And I also have a STEM course, a STEM art class where we produce, like they teach them how to read free body diagrams, produce free body diagrams, draw in 3 dimensions, and be able to scale what they draw, what they build. So the goal is that we show them how to do it, draw in 3 dimensions, understand the dimension analysis with 3 dimensions while they doing their STEM class. They build their projects with popsicle sticks. And what I want to do is move it to a 2-year project where they build it first in popsicle sticks to get introduced to it. Then from there, they start to print it with the 3D printers. So that's kind of my vision. And then what I'm doing for next year is with mechanisms and structures, because I feel like mechanisms is like, how do I word it?
You're using AutoCAD?
But AutoCAD, like they want to put it, but in order to get to AutoCAD, you have to know what you're making. So I find that we don't know even what we're making. So it's like everybody be like, yo, you got a 3D printer. So I ask people, do you know what a linkage system is? Do you know what a control arm is? Do you know what a fulcrum is? Do you know how to build a leverage? Do you understand angular momentum? Do you understand, like, if you don't understand these principles, you won't be able to make anything. And so finding people that understand these principles is not easy in the community because most Black people don't know the kinematic equations. They don't even know what that means when I say that. They don't even know when I say how we analyze things in physics and how the way we analyze things with chemistry or from a mechanical aspect. And so that's how with Dr. Mayat, like, forgive me for debuting, but this is such a privilege to have all of y'all together. And like, I don't get to have this with the Institute. And I feel like, I do have this as a baby, and Unky was there when I was creating it. I have the whole science part done out. Like, I'm really excited about that. Like, literally, I finally taught every single science class. So I have my own way of teaching it. Pedagogy with math, I would love to discuss with you because I feel like the way they introduce algebra is kind of confusing.
Chef, that's your phone. Chef, that's your phone. He's echoing. Okay, Chef, thanks. Okay, go ahead, Brother Q.
So my goal is to really tie in, and that's why with social studies, we added a component where they have to analyze the engineering capabilities of a society versus just, the civics and government and, what type of, money they use. We want to make sure they understand how engineering led to their, success or their fall. But really tying it in, and it's really so hard because I'm hunting. Like, I don't even recruit from within the school system. As soon as you say you're a school teacher, I stop talking to you because I already know, like, you're not gonna be able to work on this side of the world. And then I disagree with that, man. I'm sorry. I the program that we have in Baltimore, Conscious Ingenuity, the children love it. They threw me 5 schools. They're getting ready to give me another 9 schools. So I have 14 schools this fall. And I definitely believe that K through 12 African-centered pro-Black teachers should be a part of the curriculum development. No, I'm with that. I'm saying it's hard to find them. That's the part I was saying. It's hard to find.
But you just said if someone tells me that they are a K through 12 teacher, you said I don't even talk to them. And what I'm saying
in the sense of recruiting. So like if I find somebody, it's just hard to like in the city here. When I talk to educators, they're like, you either have professionals or you have teachers. So within STEM, like most of the school teachers who teach science here went to school for business.
They don't have a STEM background. Okay.
You see what I mean? So like when I'm talking to them, I really went to school for astrophysics. So if you come to me and you don't know science, I'm going to look at you like you're retarded. Like, why are you teaching science? How dare you?
You looking for teachers that's actually in the field.
You see what I mean? And so there's a huge disconnect, even not just in the pro-Black community, even in the schools.
No, he's right. He's right about that. It's a lot of, he's right. In the public school system, you have a lot of teachers in there teaching STEM and they don't have a STEM background. He's 100% correct. Yeah, he's 100% correct about that.
So I'm like, she knows what she's saying. And so
but I'm not a teacher.
It's really challenging. Forgive me, y'all, because it's like, I've been trying to get to Dr. White, and she always told me to call her, but just having all these brains, it really is challenging that, like, how to do it. Even like teaching applications. Like, I would love for y'all to watch it. I put out a video explaining bridges, and that was my first explainer video. I was a little nervous doing it because I'm like, I hope the white boys don't tear me up like his science isn't on point. But I definitely would like your like consultation or even advisory, on how we do the STEM program with us, because it's very challenging.
Yeah, let's do it. I mean, I told you, to hit me up whenever you needed me. Yeah, I said just hit me up.
Yeah, same here. You can find me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, hit up whenever you stop fighting against vaccines. Go ahead, hit her up, Q.
And
I don't fight against vaccines, brother.
You can't fight against vaccines.
I have. Do you have an inoculation kit in your house?
We're not gonna do it. We're not gonna do it.
Do you have an inoculation? I'm just asking. Do you have an inoculation kit in your house?
I don't know what you're talking about, Q.
I'm just asking.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I'm just saying I have a glove box upstairs. So that means that I'm obviously understanding that vaccinations are real and how we handle viruses and pathogens is very much a serious science. That's why I built the glove box. We're going to be building another glove box.
What's the butt though? Give me the
There is no butt.
Yeah, man. You was arguing me down.
No, specifically.
Let me hear. Go ahead. Let me hear.
No, specifically. Don't jump in. If we would be disingenuous if we did not acknowledge the political climate that is behind the medical field.
But politics is important, though.
I'm saying we will be disingenuous if we did not acknowledge the play that politics have specifically on medical sciences.
And okay, so what we talking about vaccines? So what political ploy would it be that would stop you from getting vaccinated with the COVID-19? I'm listening. Since you wanted to do it, go ahead.
No, I didn't want. You wanted to do it. COVID-19.
I didn't want to do it. I don't want to do it.
COVID-19 specifically for me. For me, the data did not scream, nor the reality scream what they were screaming on TV. That's like the arguments, the reality. That's just for me. It didn't.
To vaccines, you said you have a vaccine kit.
I have an inoculation. So when you do petri dishes, that's for inoculating. You create that. That's pretty much a petri dish.
So you have the
no. You can and you can inoculate a plate because you're going to allow a specific bacteria to grow on a specific food medium, whether it be agar or blood, etc. Exactly. But in terms of having an inoculation kit, I mean,
hold on. What is your
to run the experiments or like vaccines? Because
again, the purpose of inoculating or the doing that is to find a way of treating the pathogen. So that's for me is the reason why I'm saying that is that if I didn't believe in the science, I wouldn't be steadfast looking at glove boxes and developing a whole biological lab. Like I'm not a bio person, but I love biology. Living environment, that's part of earth science. So,
So then how can you make the point that the data don't pan out with the you confuse me.
With your kid, are you saying you're actually looking at the viruses and you're trying to figure out? I'm trying to figure out what the kid.
I'm saying that's the part of the pursuit. So you can't say that I don't believe in the science if I don't have the science lab upstairs that I'm trying to build.
Right, but what are you looking at with the kit? Like, what are you?
No, it's whatever you want. At the end of the day, it's we need our own lab. That's one of the issues I have in the community.
You said an inoculation kit. Well,
I
get his point.
I don't get it.
Yeah, so you can't be against the science if you're actively doing the science.
You just I get your point. You just hit me with it.
I hear you. I hear you too. No, he's saying he has an experimental setup, so he's not anti-science. That is concerned. He actually does petri dish works and rolls out.
You're hitting with the Brooklyn Magic on that one, Q.
No, it's literally no. You gotta understand. No, you gotta understand.
Right? Say it again. I bet you can't say it twice. Say it twice. I bet you can't say that again.
About that I have an inoculation kit.
Forget that. About the data not matching up with the vaccine or something you said. I bet you can't say it again.
The data does not pan out with my experience, nor the things that I saw. And I'm very mindful of how the politics are played with certain biological data. For example, Agent Orange. Agent Orange was told
to something different.
I'm saying that when it comes to the administration's usage of certain
peace, Dr. Maya.
Oh, peace, sister.
Peace, Doc.
Yeah, when it comes to certain administrative rule, like findings with certain chemical agents that's put into the body, Like, I think it should be our interest to be mindful of that. There's a lot of politics behind it. I was gonna say Agent Orange. They, like, for example, they told my father Agent Orange wasn't no issue. He got poisoned with it, burnt him out, burnt me and my sister. They told him it wasn't genetic. You see what I mean? So, like, there's certain things that they say at the time, and then the science finds out to be wrong.
Okay, we talking about the vaccine, the COVID-19 vaccine.
I'm saying biological sciences specifically.
No, we're talking biological about sciences. No, I'm saying we.
I know you're breaking it to biological.
You're talking about race.
That's all we talking about.
No, I didn't say race science. I said specifically biological sciences. Medical field is heavily underneath political, ramifications. That's just the reality of it. From the choices of medicines, the applications of medicines.
You don't think that's important?
What?
That's important to have politics and science, bro. Like, that's important to have those there. Like, you need that.
I disagree. Look what happened in Flint, Michigan.
Oh, we talking about the COVID-19 vaccine.
I'm showing you how biological sciences and politics affect each other. And that's what I said from every time you talk to me. It's in our interest to understand how.
No. Q. I mean, come on, Q, brother. Let's get straight there. Let's not, come on, don't do like that. Like, I'm saying, what about the COVID-19 vaccine would you not promote, say, in your school? Like, so if you telling me you wouldn't promote in your school for yourself, then I'm saying, well, that's interesting. Based off of the fact that, man, you wouldn't have nothing better than that. So to make an informed decision, right? Like, if I don't got nothing better to give the babies or to give the community, bro, like, I'm not gonna fight that until I got something. That's all I'm saying, Q. Yeah, I mean, seriously, that's all I'm saying. Like, I never seen how we thought we had better things than the quote unquote vaccine. Like, I never seen that. Right.
I'm saying that for the experience, it didn't warrant. I didn't see that when they said thousands of people were dying in New York, that when they said there was people, I didn't see that. Like, I'm walking around New York, that was people, like, the medical reality and the administration of certain type of procedures have been an issue in the Black community prior to COVID. You see what I mean? Like, what procedure to do, when to do it, the misuse of certain procedures, that is an issue in the Black community. That is a fact.
You work in the medical field, bro?
I'm in science, so I'm in the community, so it's like certain things.
I'm talking about like in the hospitals with people that.
No, I don't. No.
So you can't really say you.
When we're observing data, the last thing a scientist actually uses is his personal experience. Why? We know, first of all, we can't quantify our personal experience. So whatever I personally experience, I can't let another experience the same thing. So I can't use that as an argument, number one. Number two, regardless of government involvement or not, and where government involvement is warranted, it's financing, it is creating avenues, it's freeing up materials, etc. But when we put on that science lens and the science hat, and we go and examine the data, what about the functioning of mRNA and the results that were provided, and the science and the biochemistry of how this system was designed to incorporate the natural processes of the body? Where in that data was there insufficient, incorrect, or deficient information which allowed you to draw to the conclusion that this is not something I want to promote as a tool to prevent people in my community from dying, because the close to 1 million deaths that the US is nearing now is predominantly, for the most part, in the Black and the Latino communities.
But yeah, I don't know if that was a question, but somebody dropped a link in there, man. We can move the show forward, man.
It was a question, and based on somebody like that.
Yeah, I ain't bring you there to get you, Q.
Oh, no. So I was reading from, this is ncbi.mi.nih, misdiagnosis, misdiagnosis and delayed diagnosis of common problems in healthcare and typically related to patient, provider, and socioeconomic factors.
Okay.
This is just a fact. We're dealing with realities of diagnosis.
But you're creating a dichotomy that don't exist, and it's as if we're comparing apples and oranges. The vaccine science is simply hijacking the body's natural system and allowing the body to do what it does prematurely. Now, this is different than when we're talking about medication, or when we even discussing actual procedures within the medical field. It's all compartmentalized. So when we're talking vaccine science, we cannot create dichotomies that don't exist. For example, a link to an Agent Orange, which was a pesticide, right, which was not meant for human consumption, so that in 20 years, when we look back and see, oh shit, there was a negative effect, it's also based on the science. So it's the same science that corrects itself. But now we're talking about vaccines, and we have 200 years of understanding how the immune system works.
I definitely agree with that. However,
all right, man, somebody drop.
Yeah, I just put it in.
Somebody drop that link.
Yeah, it's on there.
Yep, drop the link in there, man. Anybody want to come on, man? Now we open.
Where y'all live again? Where you live at on YouTube?
On Pseudo Killers. You ain't subscribed? You ain't subscribed, Q brother? Wow,
oh, man.
I thought everybody was subscribed.
Hold on, let me go. I'm gonna go.
Wow.
I asked you to. I text you. Was like, where the hell are we at? I'm typing in the black atheist.
The black I'm in wrong squad.
we gotta bring Q Butter back on during our series we do about the evolution of the universe according to the Big Bang model. We can do some gloves off communications during that series, man. That'll be fire.
It'll always be the gloves off.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, right.
We got Reggie coming in.
Oh, big brother Reggie.
Mm-hmm. Brother Reggie. I want to see how y'all see this.
He said education and learn. Oh, now I'm seeing the chat. I haven't heard you mention your relationship with any prominent business people. Well, at Carver Bank, the woman who owns the building is a principal for 20 years. The other place where I got Congress, men, I got an award from them. The city council knows me. I'm already did my, certificate with the city council, but I'm not really interested in the city council money. Hard money lenders. I am thinking about looking at dealing with hard money lenders. However, I am seeking financing right now. That part, but it's really, different routes to how I would develop and expand the business. That would be that part. Mm-hmm. I don't know what names you want me to drop. It's really a delicate, it's like, I work with this person. I remember first when I walk in New York City, I have my non-discriminatory clause doesn't exist. I am discriminatory according to New York City. I only focus on Black people. And I don't have an open clause that states that I work with the LBGT community, which is what they ask you to have for nonprofits. So because I don't have that, I don't want to open the door for that conversation. Like, well, why don't you work with Puerto Ricans? And why don't you work with the gays and this and that? So I just stay in the fucking corner.
Yeah, so why don't you? No, I'm fucking with you.
And there's nothing wrong with anybody who wants to work with them, but
shit, boy, I tell you.
See, this is where I always get confused. We are talking about STEM. What does somebody's sexuality have with STEM? Why is it always that people's sexuality is brought to the forefront of a discussion that has nothing to do with that?
Well, it actually does, because in a sense of community-based organizations, in order to get the funding,
but they're part of the community as well, bro. You gotta
But Ken, like we're on this panel right now, we're talking about science, where we're discussing the Big Bang, and at no point is the sexuality of anyone on the panel relevant. Like it's simply not. Why does a particular group insist on making the discussion, which is about science and technology, about their sexual orientation? It would be no relevance in a conversation like this.
Yeah, it wouldn't be. He didn't. Somebody in the chat asked him about some kind of funding and all that, so that kind of came down.
Yeah, but I'm not referring to Q or anyone on the panel. This is just a general statement as to a specific community. When we talk about the LGBT whatever community, we tend to forget this is a subject about what these people do in the privacy of their bedroom. Like, I don't care. So my organization is about providing education and primarily focusing on developing STEM within a certain community. What does LGBTQRSTIG have to do with that particular matter? Like, there is no borders or lines are being drawn. It's as if this particular community and their sexuality is at the forefront of every discussion when it's completely irrelevant. I don't care.
Yeah, at the end of the day, man, it's gonna be what's gonna be. A person can say they're not and is. So what the fuck? What the hell?
Yeah, like, who cares? Like, who cares?
Yeah, I think I'll
sneak into the program.
Yeah, sneak into the program. Be there, be your best worker. Then raise a lot of money. Black power. You be like, damn, and then you get your name like, what? I'm just saying, yo. Yeah, I mean, like, hey, man.
Well, I don't personally have a problem with, having a unique focus on our community, right? There's plenty instances. Yeah, there's plenty of instances of other communities that have a unique central focus on the group, right, under question. Like, for instance, Asians, all these different groups. I make no bones about saying, hey, I think Black people should be doing this.
Mm-hmm. It's definitely a need for it in our community. So it ain't like the need is not there for us to, increase our numbers in STEM. You feel me? If we're underrepresented, then there's definitely a need, not only for us to push forward and pushing our people into it, but the government that we pay our taxes to, that fund the school systems that our children go to, should also be heavily involved in that. So it's just not us, it's everybody, because we are American like anybody else, right? So all of that goes into it. It's not just a us thing. I know we take it on, but we're taxpayers like every other community, right? If they're gonna fund welfare, right, then they can fund education. Like, that's just, you're gonna make sure you feed me, but you ain't gonna educate me. Like, that's backwards as hell. You know what I mean? You're creating more generations of people that's gonna need welfare at that rate. You know what I mean? So you actually, I don't see the benefit of it, and we got to stop thinking that white people get everything right, because they don't.
No, but one of the points I wanted to make about us in the Black community, like our people who are in prominent positions, especially like movie directors and writers and screenplays, like 50 Cent is doing all these productions, right? But nowhere in there's this Black whiz kid that is cool, that drives a nice car, that isn't a nerd, that like, people look at me like, you're a bio what? Like, what? You what? Yeah, I'm a biochemist. Yeah, I walk around with big dogs and got tattoos. So there's this stereotype image within our community, especially amongst our youths, that you can't be a scientist and cool. You can't be in STEM and be hip. And we need to change that image along the way. I think the Pseudo Killers is doing a great job in proving that, just down to earth regular guys can be science buffs and we straight up cool. But it's not something that is common within our community. Like we got Neil deGrasse Tyson. How much more else?
That's a good point. We do need that cultural shift. That's a good point, brother.
Can I ask a question? This might not be a good show for me to talk. At first,
right.
we were
always a good show. Don't do it.
Always a good show.
We were doing the reason why is that we started off with the title for the,
Reggie.
Hey, Reggie, you got to back that camera up a little bit though. You might got it a little too far zoomed in on you.
Maybe
maybe stuck in the black corner some damn well.
Yeah, in the black hole. Okay. Yeah.
So we started right. We started off with one topic, and now is the other topic finished? That's my only question.
Right, because you don't come in and start the shit again.
I didn't start any. I didn't
say you was. Yeah, we took care of that. We did real smooth work. Don't fuck up the smooth work.
No. I wanted to add some things. I wanted to add some.
You add now. We took care of that for you, Reggie.
But I wasn't there.
That's great. That's why on purpose, nigga.
You didn't put me on the link.
On purpose, nigga.
Brother Reggie.
You're not fair.
Hey,
okay,
brother Reggie. We got
the
got the Iron Dome missile defense system over you, brother.
Right, yo, you protected, yo. Stop coming out behind the damn.
We saw nukes coming.
Right,
the jets done flew in with the missiles.
The jets done flew the shit over with, cleared out, and you want to start again with a cap.
I only wanted to talk.
Reggie said, I'm a grown man. I put my own work in around here. You feel me?
Yeah, I only wanted to say.
Gonna have you in trouble. Gonna have you getting shot at tomorrow, yo.
All right.
Hey,
high blood pressure.
The defense contractors already got their money.
Oh wait, the only thing I wanted to add.
Let Reggie shoot somebody, yo.
Was about original the points about when you're doing research, because I agree with everything, of course, that Dr. Maat said and Brendan and Cedric. I wanted just to add to it. One thing is original research. One of the tools that you use is a literature review. So lots of times people, first you got to find out if the research that you're doing or the points that you're making is original. And then you use a literature review to help you with that. So if you want to talk about something that you think is novel, you should first check to see if it is in fact novel, that someone else talked about it. A lot of people get in problems with plagiarism and things like that because they don't do a literature review. So they think that they're the first person that ever talked about it. So they don't even take the time to see if someone else talked about it. The other part comes in when a person finds that someone talked about it, but it's very old, it's very obscure, it's in another language. And then they go, aha, I'm going to steal it because then nobody's going to look in Chinese and nobody's going to look in French. No one's going to look in German. And then I'm going to push this and I'm going to minimize it. So in some of the work that I have seen, I've seen people being experts on a subject that's already published by an African author, a German author, a French author, and they're applying it off. And
hilarious.
And they're applying it off as if it's their own original work. The other thing I just wanted to say about the subject is that when you're doing original work, one way you should always do it is you should narrow your work. And so how you narrow your work is through an abstract. Because the work is multidisciplinary, you want to be careful and you want to narrow your work to the discipline that you are in to leave room for other positions to say, to not to say that you're to find that you are wrong, but to make sure that you're right in your position. So I'm not trying to throw shots. Well, I'm gonna throw a shot right now. I introduce some of these topics, and it blows up in our community. People want to pop in your city, and they want to do this, that, the third. But it's really really intellectual arguments, and now there's thousands and thousands of
we don't throw shots without saying the person's name. That's a fake shot. Don't throw the damn shot. Throw the damn shot.
No, because you said in the beginning.
Throw a shot.
Right.
Yeah, be cool. But if you're gonna throw a shot, I'm gonna throw a shot. Now we got.
But right now I haven't. I'm just teasing it. I'm just teasing it out for
Reggie Bill.
Yeah.
Come back on me.
Yeah, I'm just teasing it out to kind of
Reggie like to build up before he scream on a nigga. Go ahead, Reggie.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Now, for example, there's thousands and thousands of journal articles, and then there's hundreds and hundreds of journal articles on Egypt, and then there are only a few journal articles really on the meaning of Kemet. There's only a few. And Dr. Asa Hilliard wrote one. And there's a few other people that talk about now Kemet. People don't understand Kemet occurs as a place name in one particular period, but Kemet itself, the word, finds itself in different periods meaning different things. So a smart person builds up to, watch this, they build up to why Kemet might be a place name through the culture. Other people simply, that's Asar and Ujawo and people like them, they just say that Kemet can only mean one thing. It means place name. What about the time periods when Kemet is being used and it's not a place name? The problem is with their methodology, they only go to a specific period and they don't go to the periods leading up to it. So I used an analysis called syncretism that allowed me to build it up based on their religious beliefs in the text. Now, of the thousands of journal articles that's out there and hundreds that's on ancient Kemet, I'm the bad guy where now people want to attack the journal that I'm in, one, and two, review, which is basically an attack.
Asar and them didn't attack that journal though. So
no,
you mentioned them.
Stop crying.
I didn't say,
but Asar and Wuja didn't attack the journal.
No. Asar and them didn't attack the journal. The dude that I do not want to name, he did attack the journal by saying that I only got into the journal by my friends. There are relationships involved, but unless the journal puts out an abstract. In this particular journal, when I wrote my piece, put out an abstract search or looking for abstracts on Professor Itabari, who had passed, and I thought I had a novel abstract to celebrate his life with the type of work that I think that he was interested in. So that's, say that again.
Hey Reggie, let me ask you this. Do you think that the question or the argument that Asar and Wuja and Sanjetti put forth, I think the argument went over everybody's head. I think they used the general argument to slip something else in. Because they're not all arguing either point, right? They piggyback another concept in on that argument, whether it was the people, whether it was black because of the people or black because of the soil, right? It seemed like nobody else knew what they was talking about, and y'all arguing it meant land of the black people, right? According to Diop and them. But if you read or saw in them work, they saying both sides is wrong. They said the Afrocentrics is wrong, calling it the land of the black people, and they said the consensus in academia is wrong for calling it the black land. They said both positions is wrong.
Yeah, that it has nothing to do with Kemet, has nothing to do with
the people
black.
Or the land.
Right. And so that's their position. Their position that
what's your position, Reggie? We never asked you.
My position on Kemet.
Well, I can say I don't agree with you. Go ahead, Reggie.
Well, I'm gonna write. Okay, I'll answer yours first. My position is that the words Kem, Kemetiu, and Kemet evolved through the beliefs of the people.
Right.
Huh?
I said that sound right. That sound good.
My position is that first they, first, not in my article, but in my thinking, is that at first they just used it as a color. Kem was the color black, just like Deseret was the color of brown, and Kemet, Deseret was the color of red. Sorry, the color of red, to not red, but red to apply to things like the desert, right? Or and so there's other words, right? That like white, right? And there's blue and then green. So first it started out as a color, and then
damn, you answered the question, Reggie. Is it black land or what? Like the consensus is on the word. Is that what it is or no?
No, it can be multiple.
OD. I kind of drifted off into the abyss. I was like, damn.
But work with me. It's in context of it changes. So it changes. So it's in the context. So if they're talking about a black pot, it's a black pot. If they're talking about the land, it's the land. If they're talking about their belief, then it would be Kem. Kem is a god, right? If they're talking about cattle, damn, yawning on me. If they're talking about cattle, that what they're trying to do is they're looking at different shades of a palette. So so it can mean multiple things, but it doesn't mean just one thing. And then you can't use the negative to say it doesn't mean all these things, but it only means dry or damp land or something like that. So their whole thing is they exclude all the other possibilities to make one possibility, but they don't show through textual sources how that occurs. I'll stop. And so people got this thing all messed up, because I think beating down Kemet was a popular, because they could have chose any other word. But I think that they wanted to say, well, we got tens of thousands of people believing that Kemet means a color, and we're going to say it don't mean color at all. In a context, yeah. So now I'm one eye in the city of the blind. I know a secret, but what they did was exclude a lot of textual sources. So now the other thing is,
Hey Reggie, not trying to cut you off. We kind of up against it, man. Man, make sure y'all support Abjuwear, ABDJUWEAR, right? .com, man. Support that, man. Get your gear, man. Get your sneakers, man. Make sure you support, man. Hey, man, make sure y'all like and subscribe to the show, man. Y'all know what it is around here, man. We practice scientific literacy, man. Around here, we rely on the experts, man. That's what we do. having fun, you know what I'm saying? Promoting scientific literacy, man, to understand the ideas and concepts put forth, man. That's what we doing. Man, let me look and see who in the chat room real quick, man. Who we got, man? I'm glad everybody. Well, I see you. I see you, Anusha. Man, what it do? Jalonda. Make sure y'all go to Jalonda GoFundMe, man. Make sure y'all support that, man. Somebody drop that link in there, man. Yeah, make sure y'all drop that link. All right. I see you, Raw Tone. What's going on? Miss Tiffany, boy, I appreciate you stopping through. So where the hell were you at, man, Mr. Action? 764 is the code. What's up with your slave? Boy, I see you. Miss Lamb. Man, make sure you support Miss Lamb. Y'all know what it is, man. Make support my people in Cleveland. Shout out to the people in Cleveland. Leodosia, chill. Make sure y'all support them, man. Hey, appreciate you stopping by, Cute Butter. Educated learning, man. You know what it is, man. New York City. What's good, Atlas? I see you. Look, man. Elohim. What the hell is Elohim doing here? Let me stop, man. James Powell. Yeah. Got the Elohim in this mouth. Let me stop, yo. Funny. Look, man, I'm glad y'all came through, man. The numbers was good, right? Good, great conversation, man. You know, Cosmic Corey, Chef and L, Kent, Clark Kent, Dr. Oyama Yacht, Pseudo Killer Official. Who else we got in here? Who else we got in here, man? Cedric. Who else in here? Hold on. I'm gonna get everybody in here, man. I thought this was one of them powerhouse shit.
Yeah, Brendan.
Pseudo Killer Official, Brendan.
Pseudo Killer Official. Who else we got in here?
Cleared up Reggie names. You know,
look. CK. Yeah, man. Last but not least, man. Man, my brother Reggie, man. Reggie, you know we got your back, man. We got your back, man.
Yeah, I know. I just for the people, but it's okay. It's all right. It's okay,
man. We got to cut the show, man. We got your back though, bro. We couldn't go. You was killing us with the Brooklyn Magic and the.
I wasn't.
I was starting to snore a little bit. I said, "Damn, look at what." I ain't figured it out.
This work is hard work, but it's okay. I mean,
we'll do another show, man. I don't know if we're going live again. We definitely gonna live, man. Look, man, check this out, man. I got a special show coming up, man. Me and Black Panther, man, we're gonna do something, man. We ain't did something in a while, man. Man, it's gonna be titled Cults versus Cults, man. I'm gonna go ahead and drop the thing on my Facebook post, man, the flyer, man. Yeah, we doing it. That's gonna be on the 27th, man. Make sure y'all tune in and support, man. Once again, we're gonna do a show called Cult versus Cult, man. Black Panther and Brother Unc, man. That's what we doing, man. Yeah, me and the Black Panther go back, way back. We ain't did a show in a while, man. So we gotta make sure we do that, man. Hey, man, tune in to all the shows, man. Subscribe, man. Smash Rockwell's, man. Dr. Oyama Yacht, man. Make sure you subscribe to them channels, man. Subscribe to all the family channels, man. Y'all know what it is, man. That's how we doing it, man. Somebody hit that M button. Kent, you got them controls, man.
Nah, I got co-host. Chef got the regular jump.
You want?
Oh no, I can end it though. But yeah, I just want to let Reggie know, man. We cleared your name, bro. That 100% plagiarism out the window, bro. So you know what I mean, they can go back and they can go back and look at the the information to see where we got it at. You know what I'm saying? But just wanted to get that out there.
Not on our watch, Reggie.
Yeah, I appreciate that, but it's for the they're taking advantage of our people, and
so you had to man, you got bombs over Baghdad coming back at you.
Reggie can't help it. He from New York. He like to put in his own.
I threw him my alley-oop, yo.
Look, he from New York, man. He won't put in his own work.
My mistake was I thought I could talk.
Yeah, gang
like
culture
man, we off that, man. The war is over with, yo. They didn't clean up the bodies. They done buried the dead. Put the lime all on this shit. You run out there with a damn cap, come pow.
Yeah, but I'm not trying to make friends, and neither are you. We're trying to. None of these people on the Pseudo Killers is trying to make friends.
No, we trying to kill Pseudo.
Not my friends.
We trying to kill Pseudos around here.
Yeah, we're trying to. Hey, thanks, Sheffrin, and peace to you, Sheffrin. No, we are trying to leave them stinking. We're not trying to put lime on them. We want them.
We want to smell a dead body. You feel me? as a warning.
Yeah, we got to get Q Butter back in here on that big bang.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be a good conversation.
Yes, indeed.
You want to fight?
Oh, hell yeah.
So what about that? That was funny. All right. Man, hit them things, man. Anybody got something to say besides Reggie?
Yo, if you in New York City, on like certain cities in the East, let's link up. I definitely have a nice little science lab and shit. We can come through, do all types of experiments, build stuff. Yeah, I'm like a big ass kid. If you're in an airsoft, remote control cars, fabrications, building, you know. Got mad telescopes too.
Peace, Q Butter. I didn't say peace to you. How you doing, brother? Peace.
What's good, beloved? Peace, man.
Good work.
That's what's up. We're definitely, you know, we can put together something where the pseudo killers come check your school out, right? Do a tour and probably we could probably do a podcast there. I mean,
that'd be lit.
Yeah. We hook up with Unc. I know y'all in communication, and we can put something together this summer where we can come up there and, you know, spend 2 days with you and, you know what I mean, promote your school. That'll be lit.
Q gonna have to give you the pass though. Get in Brooklyn and get out.
Definitely. I definitely need a Brooklyn pass. You feel me?
And this shit gentrified as hell.
I'm from Baltimore. I'm gonna need a Brooklyn pass.
This shit gentrified as hell. The pass, only pass you gotta pay is that expensive ass bridge.
Nigga shit. Hey, so Reggie, we gonna hit that Brooklyn Museum though, Reggie. You know that's what we got.
Yeah. Look, we can do a whole weekend, man. That'd be dope. Do the tour with Reggie at the museum. Let him lie about some
Museum,
glyphs.
Brooklyn Museum, Seneca Village. Put your walking shoes on.
Now I ain't fucking with y'all that, Reggie. Hey, Reggie go where you out. You ain't even gonna care about evolution no more. When Reggie finished with you, boy.
Yeah,
you be like, are you serious, Reggie?
You're gonna need some water. Don't come for the sisters. Don't come looking so cute with the bring something with some arches and stuff. Some tennis shoes. Don't be bringing no heel shoes.
Yeah, don't do it. You walk out them motherfuckers fucking with Reggie. Yo, corns be busting off the shoes.
Yeah, don't do it.
Hey, Reggie,
all you Egyptomaniacs, when you gonna come to DC and see the African American Museum?
Hey, Brandon, I was down there, right? And I was trying to hit it, but you gotta make sure y'all get the tickets before y'all get to the museum. Because
it's a great exhibit, man. If you in DC area, man, go see that African American Museum.
Yep.
Man, the tickets is free, man. What you talking about?
But you still need to get them passes.
You have to schedule it. You gotta make sure you get them before you even get downtown. You know what I'm saying? So make sure you get them in advance.
Get on your app, right?
Yeah, it should be a website you can buy them, but just buy them before you get downtown. Like, don't show up to the door thinking you about to get in. No, we did that and we didn't get in.
I've been there twice, so I really enjoyed the experience. It was 3 floors, right?
I didn't get in. Brendan might have. Yeah, I showed up to the door like, yo,
you should be able to get in because you black. That's crazy.
Man, it was white people that had their tickets, bro. That's
white people in that motherfucker.
So they was letting white people in, but they ain't let your black ass in?
Hell no.
Oh, that's crazy. They wouldn't even let you see your own shit.
You gotta follow the rules.
Hold on, they wouldn't let you see your...
They were sold out.
They wouldn't let you see your own shit, yo.
Nope. That's crazy, yo. That's crazy. Wow.
Yeah, they turned you and your kids away, kid.
Oh, man, I had my kid with me and everything.
Kids with you, yo. You supposed
mom.
To put your kids there. Why you ain't go to
I ain't gonna lie though. The history club get me a little bored with the conscious community, man. I feel like I don't be having fun and shit. Like I do airsoft and shit. They be like, yeah, that sound cool. Let's go to the museum. I'm like, that shit is educational too and shit, bro. We take them apart, fix them. I don't do remote control cars and shit like that. We build them from scratch, crash them.
I'm with that, Cube. I'm with that.
I be like, damn, we gotta talk about Egypt again.
No,
like,
you can go to the Museum
I'm messing around, I'm joking.
History. You can go to the Museum of Natural History.
Oh yeah,
you have the whole
that's
space.
Dope.
You have the whole space, and then you have the the planetary life, and then you have the ape life, and then you have the human life, and then you have the dinosaurs.
The African Arts Museum.
Yeah.
But that's in DC. I don't know about it.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I drew a blank on that. Yeah. So you have fun in a museum of natural history. The Met is really geared for, you know, high school and college. It's not really geared for junior high school. It could be boring to them unless you really know the lay of the land to make it educational. But the Museum of Natural History, I love that museum. I got Unc in there. That's where Unc cut his teeth. That's where he was able to interact with the PhD students and tore their ass up in rare form. Huh?
I don't think that happened.
They actually wanted to talk to Unc. They actually thought they could teach Unc.
Now y'all lying. So let's shut the show down. Because now we lying.
Even like a builder's competition. I would love to have like
Chef, you ain't right, Chef. That was a pillar to authority, right? That was overshooting. Unc was overshooting his position, right?
I tell them he gonna teach the experts.
That nigga was just in there talking. He wasn't teaching no experts. The nigga was just in there talking.
That was the best, Chef Ren. Yo, you's a swift, smart dude, boy, huh?
He said, "I'll overshoot your position on the experts."
Nigga was just in there talking.
Pseudo, bro.
Hey, teach them people nothing. They probably was more shocked he was nothing. But go ahead, y'all go ahead.
Hey, did say, where the hell this nigga come from?
Right.
Wow, this nigga with the head on. They looked at me like, what the fuck? I'm like, yeah, that's the Australopithecus skull. That's the set. They were like, huh? What the fuck the nigga come
He's
from?
like, this nigga know the word Australopithecus?
Right.
Yeah, he was like, this nigga tripping, yo.
Like, this nigga got the drug dealer slang and he talking about Australopithecus. That's what was amazing about it to them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, they was shocked. They ain't heard nothing else after that. It was like, what the fuck? Yeah, it was funny, yo. All right, yo, we out, yo. Where we at, man? We out, man. Yo, hit that song, yo. Let's go out with that joint, Chef.
Yeah, we definitely gonna go out with the song. But if anybody want to drop their cash apps, Q Butter, I know you trying to fund your school. Cash app link, anything, you know what I mean?
Drop that cash app, Q, for sure. Drop that.
That you will do.
You know what I mean? Let's pseudo killers. Y'all definitely support that. My phone ringing. I'm getting out of here. We out of here.
Y'all got me on nerd ready and shit. I'm ready to talk about some science and shit. I go back to regular life. Damn you, Unc.
Yeah, we had fun though, see. Damn music guy, Chef.
About to start beatboxing in this mouth.
Go ahead, Ken.
Like, this nigga done went to sleep already.
Going out smooth. Go ahead, hit that shit. Go ahead, hit that shit, Ken.
I don't even know how to do it. Yo, Chef got it.
Ken only know his words to the song. Hell no. What the hell wrong with Chef? Good Jesus Christ.
You done got on the phone, man.
Damn, what the hell happened, Brendan? You did that shit. You just Damn, yo. Man, somebody hit that, man. No way, man. No way. right, bro.
Brother Ken, I'm curious. Was that the first song you made, or you got like
nah.
a lot of?
Nah, that's
it sounds pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a little joint I did about a year or two ago, about 2-3 years ago.
Okay, so you do some underground hip hop stuff, yeah.
Play with it from time to time. You know what I mean?
You say underground hip hop. I hate to put it under the ground.
No. You gotta link up with
underground
Smash.
scholarship.
You gotta link up with Smash to get on the big stage, on the Summer Jam.
Oh man, I'm down, yo.
Right?
See, that's something different. See, you can't jump. You can't make a jump, yo. That nigga an expert. Can't dive out there with come on, yo. Get on that motherfucker. Yo, can I get on the track? No, nigga, you a pseudo killer, nigga. This is for the expert.
Yeah, I gotta get my pen and pad out, man. I gotta write me some bars, man. I gotta,
oh boy, you gonna go back to the 60s. Man, the song, bro. Come on, what? Evon's been smoking. I cannot believe you, bro. What? The song.
Chef went to sleep, man. Yeah,
Chef lunched out.
Nah, he did
with the song, huh?
Nah, I said he texted us now. I said, yo,
he said nothing. What he said?
Oh no, I ain't know what y'all was talking about. My bad.
I started beatboxing.
Trying to roll out smooth.
Ain't know the damn words, yo. I beatbox, nigga ain't know the words. I give up.
Oh no, I was getting cursed out.
All right, we'll play the song. That way you get out of there. We done, man. This for all the haters.
This for the haters. Yeah, I mean, this is my man Kent. You feel me?
Nope. Give his name. What's his name? Shorty Low.
Shorty Low.
Yeah. Soldier Low. That was my rap name back when I was
Black Low.
You know what I'm saying? Soldier Low.
Black Soldier Low. Go ahead, kick that shit.
Normally I don't, like to talk on the track, but I was just thinking the other day, I'm like, damn, niggas be hating on a nigga, man, and be trying to figure out like why they be hating on Low. But then I learned, in order to understand the motherfucker, you gotta look at things from their perspective, put yourself in their shoes. That's how I came. They say Soldier ain't from the hood. He ain't had the news on the stove, he looking too good. Living in the house, fireplace, he burning the wood, riding in that mirror every day, yeah, just like he should. Bitch, I would if I could, but I hate that nigga. Ain't that nigga, make it look easy, look how break that nigga. Quarterback like Breeze, but he ain't no fucking saint, nigga. I can do it too, but I'm mad cause I can't, nigga. Look at him, look how he never slipping. We should've killed him long ago, now look how he living. It's steady winning, yeah, I'm losing, but I chose struggle. Skinning and grinning, he a real nigga, man, but fuck Low, taking Henny, he got a bad habit. A queen stay on his arm, with his granddaddy named was Peter Rabbit, fuck him. Nigga don't trust him, yeah, he's solid as steel, but that money gon' rust him, and too many people love him.
What happened to the music?
I can understand, goddamn, when a nigga winning, and you losing, you kind of be feeling some type of way and shit, but I'm like, let's all get this money, you know what I'm saying? But they continue to goddamn, but that ain't none of my business. But this is just me, this is dedicated to them hater nation, man, you know what I'm saying? He a dirty nigga. Bitch and give him back like he ain't heard of niggas. Ain't scared of niggas, he was raised by the young and fearless. When's the last time you seen this nigga? Yeah, he think he clean. When you pull up on the scene with his feelings missing. Sociopathic, but I wouldn't want my car next to his in traffic. And at me he's laughing, it's like he's the price and I'm the passion. It's like he's packing and I'm the one that's lacking. Fatal attraction, affirmative action. Hey, hell nah, nigga can't be. He just made another chess move I can't see. He probably feel like this Nintendo, he the game genie. On FB, he always talking shit, I'm about to be leaked. You see me, never see eye to eye. His circle small, but he always dividing the pie. I can't lie, but fuck him. Nigga don't trust him. Yeah, he's solid as steel, but them haters gon' rust him, man. Too many people love him. Yeah, man, damn, that's how y'all feel. Shit, I mean, what can I do? I mean, hey, I want us all to eat, you feel me? But everybody can't win, it gotta be a loser. So, I mean, shit, fuck it. This shit was jamming. I like, classic shit. Goddamn, about to pull up, do say in the cup. Cause I don't give a fuck. It's all love though. Yeah. Yeah. Knuckle. Let's get it.
Fire, fire, fire. West Baltimore in the house. Peanut King. Shout out to Q Butter. Everybody supported school. I know everybody leaving out of here. Hopefully we do another show tomorrow. We'll put together a program. And we'll see what we come up with. But until then, Pseudo Killers, we out. And let me end this. Peace.